time when we had common sense lending. Hi, I'm Scott Reutin, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. Swimming your way to a healthier you is now easier and more affordable than ever with an Endless Pool Swim Spa. During our spring savings event, save up to $9,000 on an Endless Pools package and get a free gift bundle including a Bluetooth sound system worth up to $3,200. Don't miss out. Ends April 13th. More at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Carter Subaru wants to buy your car. Carter Subaru will buy your vehicle for top dollar, even if you're not in the market for a new one. And when you are ready to buy a new vehicle, your drive begins with savings at Carter Subaru. Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Peter King. The latest immigration enforcement arrests now include a judge in Wisconsin. Here's correspondent Michael Wallace.
FBI Director Kash Patel posted on X that Hannah Dugan, a county judge in Milwaukee, is being charged with obstructing immigration enforcement. He says Dugan intentionally misdirected federal agents away from an undocumented immigrant who was going to be arrested in Dugan's courthouse. Agents caught the man after a foot chase.
Expelled New York Congressman George Santos is in court and due to be sentenced momentarily after pleading guilty to wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. The man accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson is due for arraignment in New York federal court shortly. CBS's Anna Schechter says prosecutors will ask for the death penalty for Luigi Mangione.
We are expecting a not guilty plea today, very likely. This is, of course, the highest charge that he's facing, the death penalty.
Russian officials say there's reason to believe Ukraine was behind the car bomb attack that killed its deputy director of military operations this morning. It's the second fatal attack on a high-ranking Russian officer in 4 months. Here's CBS's Holly Williams.
Russian officials say that Lieutenant General Yaroslav Moskalik was killed by an explosive device rigged with shrapnel and placed inside a car just outside of Moscow this morning. Moskalik was a senior figure in the general staff of Russia's military. Russian media is reporting that the device was detonated remotely as he walked past.
President Trump has been talking about a possible deal to end the fighting in Ukraine with his negotiator Steve Witkoff in Moscow right now.
Meeting with Putin right now as we speak, and we have a lot of things going on, and I think in the end we're going to end up with a lot of good deals, including tariff deals and trade deals. We're going to make our country rich, but we're going to try and get out of war so that we can save 5,000 people a week.
That was a couple of hours ago, and a Kremlin official has just called today's talks constructive and says direct talks between Russia and Ukraine are a possibility. The president and first lady are on their way to Rome for Pope Francis's funeral, and they'll be near the front, but not in the front row tomorrow at the Vatican. Crux editor John Allen.
130 delegations from countries around the world are going to be represented here. We know that pride of place, so the first two positions in this sort of galaxy of potentates will be given to Italy, that's the Pope's adopted country, and Argentina, the Pope's native country.
Allen says hundreds of thousands of people are expected in the area for the outdoor service at St. Peter's Square. Wall Street, it's a mixed day with the Dow losing 141 points. The NASDAQ is up 69. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A mass shooting in Newcastle. Details coming up, but first from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. In Bellevue, the crash has been cleared from I-405 northbound at Northeast 4th Street. Travel time rented to Bellevue still about 40 minutes. That's 20 longer than typical. You have construction on State Route 18 that has you backed up from the Tiger Mountain Summit to I-90. Travel times otherwise pretty decent. Everett to Seattle, half an hour. Federal Way to Seattle, 35 minutes, and your lake bridges are nearly clear. Traffic brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. For all your heating, electrical, septic, and mechanical needs, stop freaking, call Beacon.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A mass shooting in Newcastle has left 3 people dead. King County deputies say it happened last night in a townhome on Southeast 75th Street off 129th Place Southeast. They're not telling us the circumstances around this, but they do say the public is not at risk. We'll bring you more information on this as we get it. Seattle police have released new, more clear photos of the motorcycle rider they believe struck a couple in South Seattle 1 week ago today. We've posted those pictures at mynorthwest.com. The biker fled the scene, and the couple's daughter wants him to know.
You destroy my family, and you deserve punishment.
She tells KIRO 7 TV that her father was injured and her mother, 57-year-old Minhong Huang, died from her injuries. Seattle police say the owner of a car that rolled into and killed a schoolgirl will not face criminal charges. KIRO 7 TV's Madeline Ottley with the latest.
It happened early March. An unoccupied SUV rolled, hitting and killing Arsema Berkau. Her parents' grief palpable, no matter the language you speak.
Who killed my kid?
Police say the person who left the car was not impaired and there were no open recalls on the vehicle. SPD said they worked with prosecutors, ultimately issuing parking violations for leaving a car in a no parking zone near a hydrant and for failing to properly stop and secure it.
But there were no applicable criminal charges. A key Seattle bridge is shutting down for the weekend. The city's replacing expansion joints and repaving the 100-year-old Ballard Bridge. SDOT's Jules Posadas is asking drivers to stay away from the corridor.
We strongly advise travelers to use Aurora as a main alternative detour route if they need to cross the Ship Canal. And this is kind of very similar to what we did last year.
This is the first of 4 full weekend closures of the Ballard Bridge. In the first round of the NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks chose to bolster the offensive line.
With the 18th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Gray Zabel, guard, North Dakota State.
The Seahawks have 4 picks to make tonight, 2 in the second round, 2 in the third. Coverage of the draft tonight begins at 4 on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly sunny skies today with highs around 70. It's 54 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Fresh Fridays.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
What's the move? That's some good stuff right there, Nick. Here we go. Happy Fresh Fridays here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Here's comes from Nikki. I'm going to read a text right off. And it says, Happy Fresh Fridays. Love your dress, Ursula. You look great. Summer, baby.
Yes.
G represent. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning, Ursula.
Good morning. We have another very packed show for you on this gorgeous morning. Coming up at 9:30, international students at the University of Washington are putting up a big fight, and we're going to tell you why they're winning. We're also going to talk about why we all should be invested and rooting for Harvard right now. Our text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
Real quick, before I just want to set the tone, the tone that I'm coming with on this show.
Okay.
Listen, y'all, it's Friday.
Yes.
So whatever topics that Ursula tries, any news she tries to throw at me, I'm going to give this a Friday feel.
Okay.
Right? This is not a Monday, so I'm going to take the news, whatever you give me, and I'm just going to put a Friday twist to it.
Okay.
And then about 11:30, it's a whale moment out. Hey, Ursula's top stories of the day brought to you by Bat Bitter Northwest.
Well, this is the perfect way to start the Fresh Friday. First round of the NFL draft done, and the biggest surprise for Seattle Seahawks fans, the Hawks picked a very big dude to help the much maligned offensive line. So who is this Gray Zabel?
Dog. When you think, hey, are the Seahawks going to dress their offensive line? They did so with probably the best guy possible. According to KJ Wright, who saw him at the Senior Bowl, he said, gee, and this was the other day before the Seahawks picked him. He's like, he is a dog, but I doubt he's going to be there for you guys at number 18. Now, everything that I was talking about yesterday, by the way, I've still not predicted and gotten it right.
I know.
Ever.
I was going to say, I think this is yet another year because you were thinking that they were going to go a different route, not the O-line.
And wait a minute. The reason why I thought that is because I didn't think that any offensive lineman the Seahawks would still be there. When it was 15, 16 at that pick yesterday, I said, oh, Gray Zabel's still there? Oh, they're going to pick Gray Zabel. We're good. So I picked it at the last minute, but I could not believe he was there. I got to tell you, I love offensive linemen like this. I tell you how I want my offensive linemen. I want my offensive linemen to have just come from a Chris Stapleton concert. I want them singing Tennessee Whiskey. I want their wristband to be from Stagecoach. I want them to be either out there on the smoker with their brisket or the beef ribs or prime rib. America, baby. That's the kind of offensive lineman the Seahawks need.
Okay, and what kind of so which state is he from again? He's from
North Dakota State is where he played at. Sully is very familiar with him because Sully's son's team played him.
So he's going to be a difference maker on the Seahawks.
Oh yeah.
O-line is so unsexy.
Well, and by the way, I think yesterday I was at the draft party and I was sitting alongside with Matt Hasselbeck, right? And one of the things that I said right after the pick, I said, let's go. Big boys are back. Big boys are back. Ladies, get you a big boy because in the wintertime it gets cold.
I have a special place in my heart for O-linemen, especially centers. And one of the things that let's do sweeping statements about positions.
Are you about to do a sweeping statement?
Yeah, because remember, a lot of times people assume that the linemen are the dumbest ones on the field,
team.
On the team.
Yeah.
And you shared something, and there have actually been studies.
Don't put me in it. Do your sweeping statement, Ursula.
They're among the smartest, if not the smartest.
Okay, yeah.
And then I'm going to share the sweeping statement that you gave me. You said they usually have the best careers after football, after pro football, and they usually have the marriages that are most intact.
Yeah, because they get married first. Offensive linemen get married first on the team. Look, it's rough being big in middle school, in high school. And then once you get some money, you know what I'm saying, they get that girlfriend right away. In my experience, in 22 years of being around it, offensive linemen get married first. Also, offensive linemen do better financially than any other position. And the reason is because they had a good woman.
Okay, so what's next for the Seahawks?
Well, they have 3 or 4 picks in the second round today. I think maybe 3 picks. And so
are they going to go additionally on the line?
Right now, the Seahawks are in a good spot. In a good spot meaning they're in a position now where they can just take best player available. So it's not really a specific need at a position. What I would love for them, because Travion Henderson, running back for The Ohio State, did not get picked up yesterday in the first round. So if he's there, pick him up, but I doubt he's there. What you got?
No charges are going to be filed against a woman whose unoccupied SUV rolled down a hill, killing a 12-year-old girl outside Washington Middle School in Seattle. A drug recognition expert determined that the car owner was not impaired, but she was given 4 parking citations. Jim Fuda with Crime Stoppers tells KIRO 7 TV he's not surprised that she's not going to face criminal charges.
They go through all they can, did all the investigation, and then they bring it to a prosecutor to see what they got in the charges. They go through the RCW, and all they find is infractions. The prosecutor looks at this. Could we win this case? Could we find this person guilty of that? And they they thought not.
But he also adds this does not mean she can't be held liable for the 12-year-old's death.
What one has to remember, if there's not the criminal charge, there's obviously the civil liability side of this that I'm sure is going to be extensive.
What a tragic story. A story that I don't know if I've ever heard of a story like this where someone, I'm sure it's happened, but I've never heard of it where somebody parked their vehicle and that vehicle came undone and killed someone. This story is like, you can't criminally charge them, right? Like this, it's not intent or a crime.
Well, if they could have proven reckless endangerment or something,
Yeah.
but again,
Negligence or something.
negligence, but she wasn't. So it's not going to happen in criminal court.
Yeah.
But like he said,
I just
civilly, there's something.
I just want to say, I don't know. I'm not perfect, so I want to admit to you guys something. Have I ever left my car in drive before? Yes, I have. You know what I'm saying? Have I ever been driving a manual and didn't do a good job with the e-brake? Yes. Like, this is just a tragic story.
And for the parents of this 12-year-old, where you're like, you want someone to pay for this, this
Sure.
indescribable pain that
Sure.
we cannot fathom, not having lost a child.
Mm-hmm.
But
at school,
where she should. So I know that the relief is going to come in civil court, but this is one of those stories that really illustrates the fragility of life too. Where one day you can have kids playing, at their middle school or being outside at their middle school, and then a car goes rolling down the hill.
Well, I want to ask any professionals out here who kind of understand this better than I do, and I'll ask your opinion, Ursula. With this, there is a potential that they can go civilly about this.
I'm sure they will.
Okay. And let's say you try to go to the family, whoever left the car, right? Do they also go after the school? Do they also go after the school district?
They're going to
because
go
maybe
after...
like cars should have been parked there, kids should have been allowed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the car maker. So they're going to go for the deepest pockets first of all. And I'm not trying to. Again, this is a family that is dealing with the unimaginable, right? So but generally, they go for the deepest pockets. It also is based on whatever evidence that they can prove. Yeah. But they're going to be looking for some.
I think they have to go after the school district because this took a long time to investigate, suspiciously long. The police weren't communicating with the family. The school wasn't communicating with the family at all.
That's what they say, yeah.
So why was the student outside during the middle of the day?
Right. So there are a lot of questions that need to be answered as well. Yeah. But I'm sure my heart goes out to the family.
The school, I'm sure, is going to make changes, right, to prevent, this from happening again.
I mean, sure. In many ways, it's like you could say it's a freak accident, but yeah, I mean, there are a lot of questions that need to be answered. Washington State University has shut down one of its fraternities for hazing, and Alpha Sigma Phi is not going to be recognized on campus until 2030. The Seattle Times reports the frat brothers allegedly forced new members to use drugs and alcohol, and if they didn't comply, they would be forced to do physical tasks for their poor performance. WSU says this created a power imbalance between the younger pledges and the older members. Now, this frat shutdown follows the highly publicized death of another Wazoo student who died in a 2019 hazing while pledging at Alpha Tau Omega. His name is Sam Martinez, and his parents filed a lawsuit against the university, arguing that WSU and the fraternity were responsible for their son's death. A King County Superior Court judge dismissed that case against the university, saying that WSU did not owe a duty of care to Martinez. But, that decision was appealed, and a higher court, the appeals court, ruled that the school does owe a duty to use reasonable care to control the fraternity and protect students from hazing and alcohol abuse. So the appeals court did not rule on whether WSU is liable for Martinez's death and has sent the case back down to Superior Court. Given that hazing is still happening, here's your chance to be the jury. Is a university liable for a student's injury or death by hazing at a fraternity?
Every time. And quadruple whatever it has been the liability at any time. I've always stood on this. Now, I'll admit, full disclosure, I am not the best person to ask about this topic.
Because?
Because
you just don't like the whole Greek system.
I don't like it. I think if you want to have a club, okay, that's fine. But a club that involves hazing, a club that involves, well, back in my day, you don't know what we had to do. And, oh, man, we can't tell you, no, Fight Club. What's the number one secret about Fight Club? You know what I mean? Like, I don't like fraternities because hazing is the way to get in, right? These schools should be, if here at KIRO, we had different groups within here, and there was a little secret society, Ursula, and you had to do different things to get in there, and it went wrong, who would get sued? KIRO. So let's start really hitting the pockets of these universities, and let's just stop it and make it to where it can't happen anymore. But I know, shout out to all of you all that's in fraternities. I don't want to get you bad at me. So,
see, I think that while the university has some responsibility, ultimately the responsibility lies within the fraternity and within the Pan-Hellenic Society, the society that oversees the Greek system. There are some universities that have just said, we're just not going to have a Greek system anymore. And one of the reasons is since the year 2000, at least 50 college students have died from hazing in the United States. And the majority of those deaths are related to alcohol. The thing that just galls me is why does hazing have to, it's like, yeah, it was tradition, but we see that it doesn't end well for too many students and too many pledges. Why is it something that still needs to happen? Is it really that great for camaraderie? And I come from a position of both my sons were in fraternities and my husband was in a fraternity. I totally understand the networking aspect. I totally understand the need or the want to have this organization that helps you make a big campus smaller. I understand all that part, but the parts that I never get are let's drink until you are doing something really embarrassing to yourself or to the point of near death. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's like why they take it to that extreme and why it still needs to happen, even though you keep getting stories like this.
It literally doesn't have to happen.
It shouldn't.
Just down in Southern University, down in Louisiana, there was a kid who just died. His name was Caleb Wilson, and the three members of the school, 3 students of the school, have been expelled. But that kid is no longer here anymore. No. Like we say on this show, when you know better, you do better. Like, can we stop? Like people don't have to die. What are we trying to accomplish by people dying?
Not to mention the fact that the whole culture, it's not just the hazing. What about the non-consensual sex that often occurs at these fraternities? Because the girls can't have alcohol in the sororities, so they come to the frat house to get blasted, right?
It's Friday.
It's ridiculous.
Bro. It's Friday.
Yeah.
We ain't even got time for that.
But it's absolutely the truth, too. And the things that happen.
Whoa.
And yes, and fraternities have had to pay dearly. And speaking of Sam Martinez, because I want to just point out, and we've had his parents on our show, and they have done a lot of work raising awareness to this. The Whitman County Prosecutor's Office actually charged 15 former members of that fraternity in connection with Sam's death. And some of the sentences were like probation. Others got it like up to 19 days in jail. Mm-hmm. And then also Governor Inslee in 2022 signed Sam's law, which increased legal penalties for hazing. But there's still too many young people whose lives are snuffed out because of something so stupid.
I want to ask a question. No, I'm not in a fraternity, right? Because, I don't know, sports was always my fraternity, and I was grateful for that. But I want to ask you, what's the big picture for fraternities? What is the biggest thing for you? Is it networking? Is it friends? Is it I really want to know what a fraternity, what's the big picture? If it's just like, hey, G, the same way you look at sports and how that was your thing, that's what it is for us.
And many, it is. And trust me, I tried to talk my boys out of joining your fraternity. I gave them the alternative view, and my husband was neutral on it.
If that's the big picture, then why is hazing? Like
it
in the
is
sports,
unnecessary.
you don't have to.
And some fraternities have gotten rid of hazing, even though there's still some form of it. It's this idea of having to jump through hoops and loops to become part of this brotherhood.
Just get rid of that, G, because you talk about the importance of connections, right? And those organizations really provide it. My uncle was in a fraternity at UW, lifelong friends.
Yes.
They took care of him when he was dying of cancer. I mean, it can be very powerful in people's lives. But just get rid of the hazing. Get rid of Rush. Get rid of pledging.
Oh, they're not going to get rid of Rush or pledging, but get rid of the hazing, period.
But
I'm
the
not
worst
just
talking about this.
Yeah, and not. But it's wanting to belong. The networking is real. I mean, I look at my sons to this day. Their closest friends are members of the fraternity. Some of their closest friends. So I mean, there really is some. There's philanthropic efforts as part of it too. Mm-hmm. I mean, so there are some positives, but I just don't see the positive in hazing. Period.
No. All right, we got a big show. Michael Medved is coming in at 10 o'clock. And you know, I'm going to do something different with Michael Medved. I'm not going to ask one question. Ursula will ask. I'm not going to ask one, other than maybe some fun stuff. But we haven't talked to Michael in a while. I can't wait to have him on. At 9:47, we need to talk. You got your real ID yet? Do you have your enhanced license yet?
I'll tell you what happened when I tried to get mine.
Yeah, Ursula's going to tell you about that. But coming up next, Heather Bosch is going to join us about UW international students fighting right now the Trump administration's revocations of visas. Next, Gee Ursula.
The Jake and Spike Show.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
Here's what people are clamoring to buy right now. Poop from the Seattle Zoo. Zoodoo. You can get a zebra, you get giraffe, a poodoos. You ever heard of that animal in your life?
Never in my life.
Laura, can you look that up?
It looks like a tiny Bambi.
I don't know how much poop you're going to get from that thing.
That's why it's rare and costly, my friend.
Jake and Spike.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Watch the Jake and Spike Show live on YouTube.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
What do you get when you assemble 400 new and used RVs with over 1,000 floor plan options, plus manufactured homes on 20 acres? You get the best chance to save all year. The Puyallup RV Show, May 1st through 4th. Free parking. Get tickets at PuyallupRVShow.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Jim Singletary here, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, where we're not afraid to tell you no. Looking for a roofing company that'll do cheap, fast work and just cover up the problem? No, that's not us. Want a quick quote without a real inspection? Nope. Just want a price without knowing your options? Not happening. Look, we don't want to tell you no, but if saying yes means cut corners, bad results, or wasted money, we won't do it. Period. And here's the deal. Seattle gets 150 rainy days a year. That's not wait and see weather, it's call Roof Smart now weather. We say no to leaky roofs, sloppy work, and bad estimates, and yes to thorough inspections, accurate quotes, and top quality work that actually lasts. So if you want an honest roofer who's not afraid to say no to bad work, call Roof Smart today at 206-487-4877 or visit GetRoofSmart.com. That's 206-487-4877 or GetRoofSmart.com.
Guys, thinking about testosterone replacement therapy? Revive Men's Health can help you get started if you're ready to book your free T-check. Visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. That's Revive, R-E-V-I-B-E, menshealth.com.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth.
Having some certainty about your plan is definitely going to give you all the advantages.
Chris has the heart of an educator.
If you really want to do this correctly, then you get to enjoy every day of retirement like it's a Saturday. And if you don't, it's a Monday for the rest of your life.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth, Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Save on a 2-night getaway to beautiful Victoria, BC with the FRS Clipper Spring Sale. Travel car-free on the Clipper Fast Ferry and stay at a charming downtown hotel. Up to 20% off. Save during Clipper Spring Sale at FRSClipper.com.
We live in one of the most beautiful places on Earth, and owning your own deck is a great way to enjoy it. But finding the right decking solution can be overwhelming. That's why all 9 of our Puget Sound locations offer decking showrooms so you can get your hands and toes on the more than 60 decking options we carry. So if you have any questions about building, maintaining, or repairing your deck, contact me personally, Mike Dunn at DunnLumber.com.
Fiber on decking is now available at Dunn Lumber, your deck headquarters.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. King County deputies are on the scene of a mass shooting in Newcastle. It happened last night in a townhome on Southeast 75th Street off 129th Place Southeast. They're not telling us the circumstances around the shooting, but they say the public is not at risk. A judge rules prosecutors can seek the death penalty against Brian Kohberger if he's convicted of murdering 4 University of Idaho students in 2022. KIRO 7 TV's Monique Minlaving reports the decision comes despite Kohberger's recent autism diagnosis.
His attorneys argued executing someone with autism is considered cruel and unusual punishment under the 8th Amendment. According to the judge, that does not apply to his mild diagnosis. Kohberger's trial is set for August.
The man accused of fatally shooting the CEO of United Healthcare is set to be arraigned today. And CBS's Anna Schechter reports prosecutors say they intend to seek the death penalty if Luigi Mangione is convicted.
They speak to future dangerousness. So they allege that Mangione presents a future danger because he expressed intent to target an entire industry and rally political and social opposition to that industry.
Investigators say Mangione had notes that expressed hostility toward the health insurance industry and its wealthy executives. A Wisconsin county judge has been arrested. She's accused of helping a man evade immigration authorities. FBI Director Kash Patel announced the arrest in a social media post. CBS's Scott McFarland.
The allegation here is that there was somebody the feds were trying to detain in the judge's courtroom last Friday, and she was accused of rerouting the agents, which stopped them from making the detention of that man who was in her courtroom.
The man was eventually detained. Judge Hannah Dugan briefly appeared in federal court today before being released until her next court appearance May 15th. A federal judge blocks President Trump from denying federal funds to Seattle and other sanctuary cities. Seattle City Attorney Ann Davison spoke with KIRO News Radio's John Curley after joining the lawsuit challenging the president's orders.
Well, it's lawful to be, we call it a welcoming city. It is lawful to be that. 4 out of 5 federal appellate circuit courts have determined these laws are lawful.
Seattle, King County, and Washington State all have laws that prohibit law enforcement from assisting ICE. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 82 points. NASDAQ up 123. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk in Bellevue, the crash has been cleared from I-405 northbound to Northeast 4th Street, and your travel time's really picked up. Just 21 minutes now, Renton to Bellevue. You have construction on State Route 18 that has you backed up from the Tiger Mountain Summit to I-90. And remember, all lanes on the Ballard Bridge will be fully closed at 10 tonight. They'll reopen Monday morning at 5. This is for road work. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly sunny skies today with highs around 70. It's 55 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show on this beautiful, fresh Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. Our text line is open for you, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. And if you haven't checked us out on YouTube, why don't you go there? Because we have a great community forming there as well. Hey, we want to give you an update because we're now getting a better idea about why nearly 24 international students in Seattle suddenly had their visas revoked. And now we're finding out, too, that their colleagues are rallying to help them. And Heather Bosch, you've been looking into this, and tell us what you found out.
Yeah, well, the latest this morning is that the University of Washington says 8 out of the 23 students have had their visas reinstated. In a statement, the university says it was given no reason why, but at least one of the students had sought legal help. So a community-led student defense fund has been set up to help the remaining 15 students.
We are now launching a fund to raise funds from faculty, staff, students, alumni, anyone else who's interested in supporting students in this situation.
Angelica Chasaro is a law professor at the UW. She says it's unclear exactly why any of the visas were canceled in the first place. A federal government record system only referred to an immigration status violation, but she says anyone who's had a brush with the law appears to be at risk.
Having any sort of contact with the criminal legal system, so anything from being stopped for a traffic offense on up.
Chasaro says in the past, visas were typically not automatically revoked for that, but the Trump administration is taking a tougher stand against non-citizens who break the law. She argues,
we know that the way that brushes with the law happens are often distributed along lines of race, along lines of class. And so if a brush with law enforcement is going to be the line that we have between who we decide can be a member of our community and who we throw away, then that's not a world that any of us want to live in.
And she says this really has the international community at the UW and at college campuses around the country on edge.
They're just living in a heightened, constant state of anxiety, right? They've made huge investments in many cases to move their lives to the U.S., to be part of the UW community, and are now facing the loss of that with absolutely no warning.
Again, the Trump administration would argue this is about putting America first, our rules, our safety. She says it's the U.S. that would lose out if it sends international students packing.
Hundreds and thousands of students who come through from other countries every year, who bring both perspectives, who bring their very unique skills, and who are involved in some of the most cutting-edge research that UW provides really to the world.
The Washington Immigrant Solidarity Network has more information about that new defense fund, Ursula and Gee.
Thank you, Heather. You brought up this whole situation and how college campuses and international students on college campuses all across the country and here in Western Washington, I mean, those students are worried, even if they're here legally and generally they are, and they went through all the right steps. I mean, they're just really nervous right now, Gee.
Well, if you can get pulled over for a traffic violation, maybe you rolled through the stop sign and that puts you at risk of getting send packing, that's a little scary.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Heather. So I wanted to update, though, because I think we all have a vested interest in what is happening with Harvard. So you've been following this, Gee, and President Trump is now calling Harvard University a threat to democracy. He yesterday said it's a liberal mess, and this is all, amid his administration's battle with the university after he says that it defied orders from the White House. So now Harvard has become one of his main targets, and he has frozen over $3 billion in federal funding to Harvard, saying that they allegedly violated things related to foreign donations, and they're not doing enough to address anti-Semitism on campus. But Harvard isn't backing down, and I want you to listen to Harvard's president, Alan Garber.
What they are indicating is that they want to directly review who we hire on our faculty. That has implications for what kinds of views can be expressed on campus. They also want to be able to tell us who we need to fire. And they also want to intervene in our admissions processes. That is what we are objecting to.
You're taking on the most powerful man in the world.
We are defending what I believe is one of the most important linchpins of the American economy and way of life, our universities.
How much pain can Harvard absorb here?
We don't know how much we can actually absorb, but what we do know is that we cannot compromise on basic principles like defense of our First Amendment rights.
Is this bigger than Harvard at this point?
Of course it's bigger than Harvard because we look at what's at risk here. And what's at risk is the excellence of higher education in the United States, and in particular, the research mission of many of our universities, which play such a vital role in the U.S. economy and in the health and well-being of the American people.
Is this a fight you can win?
I don't know the answer to this question, but the stakes are so high that we have no choice.
That was on CNBC, and obviously Harvard has filed this lawsuit against the Trump administration.
Do you all ever listen to the Gee and Ursula Show or listen to KIRO Radio and just say, I'm tired? You ever do that? Or because I can assure you and tell you that sometimes when we do this show, some of the topics that we talk about, it can be draining.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Yes.
And I was looking at right now, we're talking about the first 100 days of a presidency. And former President George W. Bush had the highest rating among 21st century presidents with a 63% approval in his first 100 days. And former President Barack Obama had a 62%, and President Biden had a 54%. Right now, Donald Trump has a 44% approval rating. And I want to be clear, I got this from Fox, just so you guys know, it's a Fox poll. And in this poll, Ursula, they talked about some of the main reasons as to why this is happening. And it's really how he's handling the economy and the tariffs and everything. That's one of the number one reasons.
Because now it's affecting people.
Right.
Who even those who voted for him.
Right. Here's what I think's happening. I think that all of this stuff, like just now, you guys are going to hear about a Wisconsin judge that was just arrested by federal agents today. This stuff is getting to the point where even people that voted for Trump and you voted for like, hey, you need to take care of the open borders and all those things, I think you're going to start seeing what is all this other stuff? Can we get back to the point?
Yes.
And the point is our economy is not doing well. And what's happening is his approval rating is not well because there are people who's like, look, I was for the open borders. I was for getting immigration best. I was for undocumented immigrants, and I was going to get them out of here. But you're messing up our money. And that's what's happening, and people are starting to wake up. And so I just bring that up to you because thank you for bringing that up with Harvard. Yes, it's bigger than that, but hearing Harvard, hearing what everybody's doing, I think people are waking up.
Well, I mean, you're seeing that Harvard is not backing down. Harvard now is getting support from other colleges who are saying, wait a minute, unlike Columbia, maybe we can fight, so let's join in on this fight. President Trump is backing down on this tariffs thing because China said, no, it's not going to happen. I think a lot of this chaos, some of this unnecessary chaos, is getting the pushback that is necessary.
Can I give you a positive take on this? Because, Gee, you said we're tired. A lot of us are tired. I was listening to Cory Booker this morning, and he was pointing that in every point in American history where we've had transformational change, it has come through great conflict. Yes. And there's been a long history of people who have fought for what is right, from civil rights to civil war. And I hope we will do that again.
Hey, Ursula.
Yes.
I'll end us off on a good funny.
Yes.
All right?
You ate steak and you got tired.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too. Yeah, that really happened. But I want to just say this. I got an analogy for you.
Okay.
On the tariffs and China not backing down. Hey, fellas, you ever been in a situation where you told the lady, I'm done with you, I'm out of here, I'm leaving, and they're like, okay. That's what China's doing to us. Oh, you want tariffs? Okay. Sometimes your bluff gets called. And so, Ursula, there's some fellas out there that thought it was going to work, that thought that she was going to back down, and she was like, you're done? No. Okay, let me open up my inbox, my Facebook inbox.
God, you're killing me. Okay, we're so late, but I got to address one last thing. Yeah. 206 texted in. So I've noticed you guys have covered just about everything in the morning newsfeed, except for that kid being beat up by the Washington State University instructor for wearing a MAGA hat. I actually wanted to bring that up because I'm glad that instructor got fired and another person got fired, and that was completely wrong, that they beat up someone merely for what the hat they were wearing.
Does that person think the Gee and Ursula Show would be okay with that?
Apparently, because we didn't put it in our top
we need
story.
to talk about Real ID next. Gee and Ursula. Sorry, Nick.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of their National Red Tag Sales event, now extended through April 27th. Stop by any of their participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event, extended through April 27th. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
As we're just talking, it's so hard to keep up with everything that is going on right now. Real life still happens, and sometimes you need to replace a car and you need to do it quickly. And if you are in that position, I'm going to tell you that you want to work with a dealership that you can trust. You want to know that you are going to be treated fairly, with respect and honesty, and you want to get the best value for your hard-earned money. And for me, that dealership will always be Carter Subaru. We have purchased 2 of our cars from Carter Subaru, and they will continue to get our business because they have earned our trust. At Carter Subaru, your drive will always begin with savings. And right now, you can get the 2025 Crosstrek with 3.9% APR for 48 months, or my favorite vehicle, the Outback, the 2025 version, now with 2.9% financing for 36 months on approved credit. Shop with a Carter Subaru Advantage and enjoy valet parking at their Ballard dealership and at-home delivery across all locations.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 4/30/25.
I've always been an athletic guy, but after turning 40, I noticed I was slowing down. I booked a free testosterone check with Revive Health and learned that low T doesn't just impact my performance in the bedroom. I've been following a custom treatment plan ever since, and today I'm feeling stronger and more confident than ever.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, text BOOST to 65555 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to schedule your appointment. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help. Text stop to cancel. See privacy policy at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy policy. For info on how opt-in info will be used and terms and conditions at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of short code service.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-961-5544. 800-961-5544.
When the heat's in 11,
Cool AC would be heaven.
dayandnight.net.
Beat the rush.
Act now before summer.
Because that heat's a real bummer.
dayandnight.net.
Even though our Northwest summers can be spectacular, there's always a long, hot stretch that makes everyone say, man, AC sure would be nice. Well, except for that one annoying friend who won't stop talking about how great his AC is. Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. You can stay comfortably cool when those hot temps arrive. This is the time to plan ahead and call us about installing a high-efficiency AC or heat pump. Or if you have an existing system, we'll come and service it. Make sure it's running efficiently and ready to cool when you need it.
Before the summer heat wave.
Keep your house cool and safe.
dayandnight.net. Make sure your AC will keep you cool when the summer heat gets here. Save $50 on a pre-summer AC tune-up. When the heat's at 11, stay cool with Day and Night. dayandnight.net.
Are you looking at diversification and stability with your investment portfolio, especially with the volatility right now in the stock market? Hi, I'm Scott Reutin, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years. We've had 0 investor losses and have averaged double-digit returns since inception. Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given market conditions. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Legacy's Northwest Fund also accepts IRA accounts as well. Find out why over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Get in touch with us today. Legacy's Northwest Fund returning 9% has limited opening for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on mynorthwest.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
It's Gee and Ursula, everybody. Let's get to what we need to talk about. Do you have a real ID yet?
Nope.
Oh, man. If not, good luck getting one before May 7th. That's my daughter's birthday, by the way. The deadline. Licensing offices right now are jammed with lines out the door. Okay, so Ursula, what's up?
Well, I told you I was going to share my experience, so I was going to do it.
Share.
And then everyone was saying, oh, but wait, don't. Sully told me do not walk into the licensing office this week because you are just going to spend hours there.
Okay.
First of all, I have a passport, and I travel a ton, so I'm not overly concerned.
Right.
But I do want to get one because I want to get one and I want to be able to travel domestically without having to take my passport.
Right.
Because I always fear losing my passport.
No doubt. For sure.
So I got online and I started looking first at the ones closest to me.
Mm-hmm.
No appointments available. I don't even have the option of trying to book an appointment 6 months from now.
Mm-hmm.
It just says no appointments available.
Right.
I went one after another after another. I went 50 miles out, 100 miles out.
Mm-hmm.
There are just none.
I'm going to give you a hack.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a hack.
Go to Lewis County.
Just call. Just call the different places. Call whatever county that you think in your mind that it might not be allowed. Just call them. Just call them, and they pick up the phone. Hey,
I need to go to a tiny county.
If I come and walk in, how long do you think? What I'm saying is those appointments. Like you're trying to get a passport, and it says, "Oh, you can't get an appointment for 2 months and 3 months." That's There are some places that you can walk in. That is the hack, y'all.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to find some place in some podunk.
Call them
Smaller
around 12 o'clock when we get done with work.
Uh-huh.
Have a list of ones you're going to call. If I get there, how long do you think it's going to be? They might say 45 minutes. They might say 30 minutes. They might say an hour.
Okay, but the question is, there are some folks who are saying, extend it again, extend the deadline. Do you think they should extend the deadline?
So y'all going to be mad at me. And the reason why you're going to be mad at me is that I know you guys say, like, G is off the hook, but believe it or not, I follow the rules because some of us are scared to not follow the rules. Some people live their lives, and you're fine, by the way, Ursula, because you have a passport.
Yes,
so it wasn't
valid
really,
for a long time.
Yeah. But there are some people that like to play on the edge. As a matter of fact, before we got started on the show, tell everybody I got an email from Alaska Airlines. And if you guys are getting ready to fly Alaska, you might have gotten an email that says, hey, it told me, hey, G, your trip in early June, you need to have your real ID.
Good for them. Okay, so question though.
Uh-huh.
If you don't, are they telling you what to do if you don't have real ID?
They're not putting it out there, but I would assume what you're going to do what happens when you, like, if you've ever lost your ID in Vegas and you head to the airport, they pull you off to the side and they want you to answer these questions.
Why did you bring up that if you've ever lost your ID in Vegas? Because that did happen to me once. I lost my ID in Vegas.
Most people have. Lost their ID
and I had to try to get back in. I was like, oh,
you had to go answer questions.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And
did
they looked through.
Did you live here?
Yeah, a couple of questions, but they basically really went through my entire suitcase. I mean, they dug in.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I don't believe that they should extend. They've been extended it for over 10 years, right? How many years has it been now?
20 years since the law passed.
Okay, now don't do any more extensions, even though I'm one of those that's trying to get one.
Don't hate on us procrastinators, right? There's something we all procrastinate on. You see that bill come through in the mail, you leave it on the counter for weeks because you know it's like, what do you guys procrastinate on?
I want to tell you guys real quick. It is I don't know what's going on, but right now, if you're trying to get a passport, it is extremely fast. And Chef, you know, I told you. Yeah. I submitted for my passport. I got my passport within 2 weeks, y'all.
Well, that's a good workaround for folks. Instead of trying to get your enhanced ID,
for
get
real.
a passport.
Hey, my question, I'm not going to be a gatekeeper because people are texting in. Tony and Buckley said Snohomish County, Ursula. And then Jordan and Bonnie Lake said, check the Georgetown post office. They had open appointments.
That's what I'm saying.
I know.
Yeah. All right, Nick, you good? You got everything?
For the most part, I think
he has
back
a passport.
when I was in high school, I have enhanced drivers, but I guess things I procrastinated on were homework back in the day when I was in school. But nowadays, car maintenance, I'm like, I could change the oil in like another 1,000 miles or so.
Yeah, I got my Nexus appointment interview. I got to do that. It's not until August. Yes, way out, but I can't wait to get that Nexus. So
you can just slip on into
come on into Canada. Yeah. Okay, y'all ready for Michael Medved? Send your questions. Michael Medved is joining us next. Gee Ursula.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-672-6688. That's 800-672-6688. Again, 800-672-6688.
Join in on the conversation by sending a text to 888-973-5476. That's 888-973-KIRO.
Are insurance companies taking you for a ride? Literally? Don't let them destroy your financial future. If you've been in a car crash, Just Cause Legal is your weapon against greedy insurers. They don't care about you, but Just Cause Legal does. Time is running out. Get the compensation you deserve. Call 253-859-8899 now or visit justcauselegal.com. Don't wait until it's too late. Take back control and fight for what's yours. Meet your legal lifesavers. Just Cause Legal, fighting for you.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-230-2777. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-230-2777, 800-230-2777, or biglou.com.
Are you putting off your new kitchen plans? Why wait? Hi, Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Call today for a free in-home estimate. Years of experience, thousands of happy customers. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600 or heritagehomecraft.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Peter King. Expelled New York Congressman George Santos has said he expected to get the maximum sentence for his crimes, and he did. More than 7 years within the past hour. CBS's Michael Wallace.
Santos sobbed as the sentence was announced. He had apologized and asked the judge for mercy, but she said she sensed no remorse. Outside the courthouse, former constituents like Vesu Krishnamurthy applauded the sentence.
His buffoonery was so extreme that it could not be ignored or sane-washed.
Santos pleaded guilty last year to wire fraud and identity theft charges for stealing from his donors to fund his campaign. He was expelled from Congress in 2023. Michael Wallace, CBS News, New York.
The man accused in the ambush killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson is due in a federal courtroom this afternoon in New York. CBS's Allie Bauman.
Luigi Mangione is set to appear in a New York City courtroom today to be arraigned on federal charges. The most severe, murder through use of a firearm, could come with capital punishment.
The latest immigration-related arrests now include a judge. Here's CBS's Scott McFarland.
The FBI director on social media has announced the arrest of a local judge in Milwaukee. Her name is Hannah Dogan, elected about 8 or 9 years ago in Wisconsin. The FBI is alleging that she helped reroute somebody who was in her court who the feds were trying to detain on an immigration issue.
ICE agents later caught up with the man. A lot of moving parts in the Ukraine story. Ukraine's president says Crimea still belongs to Ukraine, not Russia. That comes hours after Time magazine quoted President Trump as saying any possible deal would have to cede Crimea to Russia. Kremlin spokesman says talks between the U.S. and Vladimir Putin were constructive. That was after officials said Ukraine may be responsible for the car bomb that killed a high-ranking official. CBS's Holly Williams.
Russian officials say they have opened a criminal case into the incident. Russian media is also reporting that the device was detonated remotely as General Moskalich walked past. We cannot confirm those details at this point.
New York has had its first subway murder of the year.
The 38-year-old victim was stabbed at the Brooklyn Bridge City Hall subway stop in downtown Manhattan around 8:30 a.m. Police say a dispute started on the train and then extended onto the platform where the stabbing took place. The suspect then took off. It comes as safety in New York City's transit system has come under intense scrutiny by the federal government. Officials in New York have touted a drop in crime in the transit system, which they say is down 45% compared to right before the pandemic. Matt Piper, CBS News, New York.
The Dow is down 66. This is CBS News.
A riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at Progressive.com.
We're at the scene of a triple fatal shooting, but first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, watch out for dark intersections in the Gig Harbor area. Peninsula Light tells us a mechanical failure is causing an outage. Crews are working to get the system up and running again. If you're heading north of Bellingham, a crash is blocking a lane on I-5 southbound at Bow Hill Road. You're backed up from the Skagit Casino Resort to the Skagit Speedway. And remember, west of there, Chuckanut Drive is still blocked by a rock slide. You have construction on State Route 18 that has you backed up from the Tiger Mountain Summit to I-90. Traffic brought to you by KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. 3 people have died in a shooting in Newcastle. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports.
I'm outside the townhome right now in Newcastle. Police and deputies say that 3 people were killed inside. They got a 911 call about gunshots fired Thursday night around 7 p.m. This morning, 2 medical examiner vans left the scene. A neighbor, John, tells me a family of 4 lived here, a dad and 2 children.
They were friendly guys. They were good people as far as I see from.
King County deputies say there is no active ongoing threat to the community. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle police say no charges will be filed against a woman whose parked SUV rolled, hitting and killing a 12-year-old girl outside Washington Middle School last month. SPD says it worked with the city and county prosecutors and spoke to witnesses. They weren't able to find any criminal charges that applied. She will, however, face 4 parking citations. We're hearing from the family of the victims in a deadly hit-and-run motorcycle crash in South Seattle 1 week ago today. More from KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman.
Lizzie Chen says 57-year-old Ming Wong was more than just a loving mother and wife.
She's positive. She's a very nice person.
Wong and her husband were hit by a motorcycle last Friday. Wong passed away from her injuries on Easter Sunday, and Chen's father seriously injured.
He suffered from spinal fracture.
But a positive update in the case. Seattle police sharing a much closer look of the potential suspect.
And you can see those photos at mynorthwest.com. The state's largest free health clinic is underway right now at the Seattle Center. KIRO 7 TV's Monique Minglaven explains.
About 3,000 volunteers are behind this, offering physical, dental, vision, you name it. Tons of medical equipment brought in so patients can get eye exams, mammograms, ultrasounds, x-rays, whatever they need.
The clinic runs through Sunday. It is free, but you need a ticket, and they go fast. They're handed out starting at 5:30 in the morning. The Mariners stay hot.
A beautiful road trip for the Mariners. They win their 5th series in a row. They've won 11 of 15, and they are rolling.
They beat the Red Sox on the road yesterday 4-3. The M's are back home today for a weekend series against the Miami Marlins. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly sunny skies today with highs around 70. It's 58 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. It's Fresh Fridays here on the Gee and Ursula Show. April 25th. It's a beautiful day out there. Hey, son, I see you peeking, but you not speaking. Good morning, Ursula.
Good morning, G. We have a request from one of our listeners.
What they want?
Who said, can we get G to have a fit of laughter, like when you just lose all control of your laughter, because that is her favorite part of the show.
Really?
So on this Fresh Friday, that is going to be my goal.
Well, let's.
I'm gonna have to find something. It's probably not going to happen. It might not happen in this next segment.
Maybe our next. Oh no, our next guest can make me laugh.
That's true. That's true. Okay, let's get to it. First of all, text line 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Maybe you can do it on the text line, or you can do it on YouTube. Okay,
there you go.
That's going to be our goal.
Yep, make me laugh
at 10.
But we do have our guest, Michael Medved, who you can hear on michaelmedved.com. Good morning.
Good morning, and happy spring.
Oh, my gosh.
Here I am. I come back from out of town, and the weather's perfect. The Mariners are winning.
Is. Yes! Yes!
It's all incredible.
Yes, we are going to talk about the Mariners because you are a huge fan, and what they're doing is phenomenal. But we're going to start with local politics. As you know, Democrats in Olympia are busy finishing with the session, and they have come up with a whole slew of new taxes to make up for this $13 to $15 billion budget deficit. We've talked about it, one of the most regressive states for taxes in this country. So our question for you, it's something that G advocates all the time. Can we just get an income tax?
I don't think the people of Washington want an income tax, nor should they. If you look around the country, the states that have the highest rate of economic growth and the best economic outcomes are states that do not do an income tax. So what taxes do is taxes penalize people. And I don't think it's appropriate to penalize people who are working hard and earning well. So what do? This is why we need, by the way, I think a national tax reform, and something very, very different from what Trump has in mind with the upcoming battle that we're going to have about continuing his tax cuts of 2017. Look, the truth of the matter is that the most important thing in terms of state tax policy is keeping it simple, keeping it direct, and not penalizing economic success. The idea that people pay a higher proportion of their income when they are well-to-do, fine. But there are ways of doing that, and the legislature is at least investigating some of them. There are ways of doing that don't involve an income tax.
Okay, so for you, an income tax is off the books, and you think most people wouldn't. Now, here's our contention, because we don't have a state income tax. However, now we're going to see gas tax increases. We're going to see just this whole series of tax increases to make up for this budget deficit. So I call it death by 1,000 cuts. And I think one of the biggest fears is people think you're still going to have all those taxes, plus you're going to have an income tax. Our contention is, wouldn't it be better to have one that is more fair, especially for the middle and lower income folks who live in the state of Washington?
Well, what is more fair? I mean, in other words,
proportionally.
Okay, but at some point or another, the way that you do an income tax is that if there's a state income tax added here, how do you arrange that so it doesn't penalize particularly people at the bottom of the earnings scale? I think that would have to have so many complicated aspects to it. And the idea of, for instance, I was just in California for the Passover holiday. And at California, they have raised their income tax rate. The top rate is, I believe, 13% now, which really can change the way that a family is living its life or investing its money or paying off the bills. And I don't think that an income tax would make things simpler, easier, or more manageable for the typical Washington family.
Okay. Hey, Mike, I'm going to slow it down and rewind it just a little bit. So Ursula recently, she's been talking about how the city of Seattle has been hit with some new tax proposals. The most recent is the one by Mayor Bruce Harrell, and that was, I believe, a $1.2 billion levy for education.
Essentially, in the last 3 years, it's close to $4 billion in additional property taxes.
So, hey, Michael, just on the education proposal levy for $1.2 billion, it would equate to an extra $652 a year per family. So here's my question to you. How can you help lower and middle class not pay more a percentage of their income than the rich in this state?
How can, in other words, you believe that people who are wealthy should pay a higher percentage of what they earn?
Well, because right
Which
now,
I think it's true.
Well, right. Yeah. So Ursula was saying earlier, she says disproportionate. Like right now, the state of Washington is ranked 49th in the country as the most regressively taxed state. So my question to you is okay, let's put the state income tax off the table. Fine. But how do you protect our lower and middle class that keeps getting disproportionately taxed?
Well, again, I have not thought about the specifics of tax policy that are necessary in Olympia. They seem to have, the legislature and the Democratic majority seems to be having a tough time figuring out as well. But yeah, is there a way to do that without basically penalizing hard work? I think there should be, there must be. I think it's also problematic for people when property taxes go up and up and up and up in an unlimited basis.
Yes.
And the problem with schools, it seems to me, is much deeper than simply not enough money. And a large part of this involves something that conservatives, to their virtue, I think, has been, to their credit, has been going on for a long time, which is the advocacy of school choice. And that is something where the state of Washington is way behind many other states, including Arizona and Florida and Illinois and states around the country that are both liberal and conservative.
Last thing I want to say, I just want to remind everyone, just came out yesterday that California has surpassed Japan to become the world's fourth largest economy. It just came out yesterday. Anyway.
Okay, so let's talk about President Trump. And right now, even Fox is admitting, Michael, that his approval ratings are underwater. So I want to just play a little bit of Fox News' Brit Hume explaining that voters are disapproving every single issue except one.
The president is underwater in all but one, and that one is the border, where he's got high approval on that, majority approval. He's above water. Everything else, including immigration, which for some reason was separated from the border in this particular poll, he's a little bit underwater on immigration. He's way down on, right at the moment, on the economy, and even way down further on tariffs, which are, of course, part of that. So, foreign policy rating isn't good, and so on.
Okay. I mean, he went on, but what do you make of where President Trump is right now in his approval ratings?
I think it's a very serious matter because he had promised so many things to be done on day one. The most recent, he made a statement that he was joking when he talked about ending the Ukraine war on day one in 24 hours. Well, it's obviously not a joke. And the level of incompetence, there was a terrific piece yesterday that I covered on the air by Will Salatin, which the title of the piece was, "It's the Stupid, Stupid." And basically it was the old James Carville saying it's the economy, stupid. Well, right now it's not even Trump's policies. It's just the execution. so many stupid and ridiculous mistakes. You take a look at the way that President Trump has handled this case of Abrego Garcia, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, this one Salvadoran national who had a court order that he could not be sent to El Salvador, and the president sent him to El Salvador, and they admitted it was a mistake. And they won't allow a measure for bringing him back from the Salvadoran prison in which they've imprisoned him. This is not even a question of policy. This is just a question of sheer incompetence and sloppiness, and the kind of thing that you see with people like Kash Patel and particularly Pete Hegseth. I mean, the Pete Hegseth saga, does anybody really believe that he's going to finish 4 years as Trump's defense secretary? I think that's most unlikely.
Well, Michael, I agree with what you're saying. And you're a Republican and you are a conservative. My question is the Republican Party pro-Constitution or not?
I think that's a question that people are going to have to ask themselves because the impact of defying and by the way, those polls that you were talking about, and you're right about them, Gee. Those polls indicate that there is close to 90% of Americans, including 60% of Republicans, who believe that President Trump is obligated to follow court orders, particularly from the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court has also been disapproving of a great deal of the attempt by the Trump administration to seize power that is rightly distributed by the Constitution to the legislature and to the courts, to the judiciary system.
Michael,
for instance, even on this so-called election reform, the way we're going to hold elections, it's up to the states, not the federal government. I did yesterday this thing that President Trump has involved himself in a fight over an Indian mascot in Massapequa, Long Island. What? And the idea that the President of the United States is going to turn away from dealing with wars and national security and the future of the economy and heading off a recession, and he's going to become fully involved in a fight between the school board of Massapequa, which has 6,000 students total, and whether they're going to be allowed to continue to call themselves the Chiefs. And this is not something that the President of the United States should be involved in deciding.
Agreed. I do want to bring up something, Michael, just because we are running out of time, and this just happened. The FBI has now arrested a Milwaukee judge accused of helping a man evade immigration authorities. And apparently, FBI Director Kash Patel announced it on social media. It has since been removed from social media, but this is a circuit court judge, Hannah Dugan, who I guess her crime or alleged crime was to show this defendant a back door. And so they're saying that she is guilty of intentionally misdirecting federal agents away from a man they were trying to take into custody at her courthouse last week.
It's an extraordinary story. I don't know the details of it, neither does anybody else at the moment. But the notion that whether you're a judge or not, the notion that you can be arrested based upon showing some compassion to someone who is not a criminal, he's not a wanted criminal. I don't believe that the undocumented immigrant who is listed here. This also goes with there's another 20-year-old immigrant that got his own court order for being returned to the United States from the deportations in El Salvador. The one thing when you look at these polls, and everybody says, well, yeah, the one issue that President Trump gets approval on is immigration. Not true, really, because when people are polled, they favor the idea of deporting immigrants who have committed crimes. And by the way, so do I. So does any normal person. Somebody who has committed a crime, particularly a violent crime, ought to be arrested, jailed, and or deported. But the truth of the matter is that right now it's very, very clear that the Trump administration is not just arresting and deporting people who are violent criminals or gang members. It's going after people who in some cases have lived here for years and years and years, raised families, married to American citizens. That is not a popular policy. And it's part of what I think has caused the erosion of support for President Trump.
Hey, Michael, I do want to ask you about the Mariners, but I just have one last thing to ask you. I know that it feels like it's really easy to blame Donald Trump for a lot of this, no doubt. So I'm going to ask you a very specific question. Is the Republican Party, are they pro-Constitution or not?
Well, they have to be pro-Constitution. It's constitutionally required. And there are too many Republicans who are putting the Constitution in a secondary place and putting Trump and loyalty to Trump and support for Trump above any other consideration, and putting one man over the law and over the Constitution of the United States, not acceptable.
Okay. So the Mariners right now, the last 16 games, they are 13-3. They have won their last 5 series in a row. They are 6-3 on that East Coast road stand. Your thoughts about the Mariners?
Well, I just think it's terrific and it's inspiring. And nobody expected it, particularly after the stumbling start they had. And who's one of the big heroes about this? Dylan Moore. I mean, come on. You got to love the fact that this is not one of those people who's being paid $25 million a year and has been underrated for a long time and is right now and has been. He was player of the week. He's leading the team. And that's kind of inspiring. America loves an underdog. Mariners have a chance of, I think, building new highs in support and enthusiasm if they can hang on to the winning ways.
The movie Conclave, we had a listener ask about that. Your thoughts on that movie? Did you see it?
I did, and I liked it a lot, but I did not appreciate the ending. Let's hope that the real-life Conclave moves together without some of the scandal and complications and surprise ending that they appended to that film.
Good stuff, Michael. Michael, I really hope that our country and most of our leaders, Democrats, Republican, all of them, I don't care what side you're on, we really need to lean. The Constitution is there for a reason. The safeguards are there for a reason. I really hope that we can all come together and be like, hey, you know what? Constitution in our country is more important. Don't you? I hope so.
I hope so too. And as you know, I have a film coming out. It's coming out on June 9th nationally in 1,000 theaters. It's opening, and it's called The American Miracle. And the focus of the film, with which it concludes, is the miracle of the Constitutional Convention. Those guys, and yeah, it was all guys, but those guys knew what they were doing, and that Constitution has been our greatest protection and our greatest gift. And it's important that we continue to honor it and acknowledge that.
Well, in honor, that's awesome, Michael. And
Michael, this is news to us.
Awesome
this is great.
And
yeah, well, it's terrific. We are doing the world premiere at the Kennedy Center.
Oh,
and
wow!
Which is coming up on June 4th, and then opening up around the country on June 9th. And it's an adaptation of my book. And I'm actually thrilled with the way the film has come out, and people should find out about it because it'll be playing at a theater near you.
There we go. All right, well, Michael, you keep making movies like this about the Constitution. You might start thinking about becoming a Democrat. All right, hey, Michael, have a great weekend, brother.
You too, and let's keep the sunshine and the Mariners winning ways.
There you go. All right, take care, Michael. Hey, coming up next here on the Gee and Ursula Show, there's a number of 18-year-olds that says, I ain't going to college. We talk about it next. Gee and Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Swim your way to a healthier you with an endless pool swim spa from Olympic Hot Tub. During our spring savings event, save up to $9,000 on an endless pools package, free Bluetooth music, and more. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you. Better life.
Hey, we've got Wes Jones here of sellwithwes.com. Wes, what if I'm a home seller, but I've got a unique property? Maybe I have a lot of acreage or a horse pasture or a castle and a moat or a house with some sort of unique design. Can you help with that?
If you've got something like that, I definitely want to hear from you guys. You working with unique properties is one of my favorite things to do in real estate. And the reason why is I get to utilize my full arsenal of marketing techniques. We can do aerial photography, we can do video walkthroughs, we can do actual video, we can do target marketing. But one of the unique things that I can do that other realtors don't is some of the access to other media that I can advertise your properties in. The local blogs, Seattle Times, King 5, all of my properties have been featured on programs like those.
That's Wes Jones of sellwithwes.com. He sold a ton of unique properties and he can sell yours too. Sellwithwes.com, sellwithwes.com, a better way to sell your home.
Spike O'Neill for Sharp Vision, Modern LASIK and Lens. And let me tell you, everything is my eyes, everything. The vision is everything in your life. But when your eyes start to go, it affects everything you do. And I had lost quality of vision over the years, began to need readers, began to lose readers faster than I could buy them. I knew it was time to get my eyes looked at. So I went to the offices over in Bellevue, Sharp Vision, Modern LASIK and Lens. They gave me a comprehensive eye exam, told me exactly what my situation was, the beginning of cataract in my eye, and I was a perfect candidate for RLE, refractive lens exchange. They answered all my questions. I had the same care team from the start of my simple procedure in half an afternoon, and I was cared for. My anxieties were eased. The procedure went smooth as glass. And I got to tell you, I've got better eyes than I've ever had in my life. I've got 20/10 vision. I see brighter colors. I see sharper images, and I will never need readers, and I will never develop cataract. They are the future of RLE surgeries. Over 80,000 successful lens replacement surgeries. Give them a call at 425-451-2020. That's 425-451-2020 or online at sharp-vision.com, sharp with an e-vision.com, official eye care providers of Sounders FC.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of their National Red Tag Sales Event, now extended through April 27th. Stop by any of their participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales Event, extended through April 27th. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
People matter isn't just a saying at Harnish Auto Family. It's how they do business. For over 40 years, they've built a stellar reputation on trust, respect, and great deals. Visit harnishautofamily.com to find your next car. Harnish Auto Family. People matter.
Hey, it's me, the foul pole at T-Mobile Park. But it's about time they call me the fair pole because those are the moments I live for. When Cal's up to the plate, I'm always on high alert.
The big dumper with a two-run blast.
And then there's Randy Arozarena launching missiles into the stands, flipping his bat so high it practically reaches my eye level.
Blasted back, Randy Arozarena strikes again.
And J-Rod, heck. When he connects, he makes the whole building shake.
And it's gone. Goodbye, baseball. Julio Rodriguez.
So come on down and take a seat beside me. You might even go home with a souvenir. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
The Mariners are back in town, and you won't want to miss 2 great giveaways as they take on the Marlins. Score a City Connect captain's hat tonight at 6:40 and a Moose Shoulder plush tomorrow at 6:40. Plus, grab value game seats for just $10 Tuesday and Wednesday against the Angels. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
Celebrate 50 years of blues greatness with the fabulous Thunderbirds. Join Kim Wilson and the band at Dimitro's Jazz Alley, April 24th through 27th. And next up, new jazz master saxophonist Gary Bartz. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A judge has ruled that prosecutors can pursue the death penalty against Brian Kohberger if he's convicted of murdering 4 University of Idaho students in 2022. His attorneys had argued that because Kohberger is on the autism spectrum, sentencing him to death would be cruel and unusual punishment. The judge said Kohberger's mild form of the disorder is not an excuse. Federal prosecutors formally filed notice they will seek the death penalty if Luigi Mangione is convicted of murdering the CEO of United Healthcare. It's a case that has grabbed headlines. CBS's Anna Schechter.
His lawyers are leaning into the public attention, but the prosecutors are as well. And regardless of what you think about the death penalty, they feel that in this case, it's warranted.
Mangione is set to be arraigned today. An update about University of Washington international students who had their visas revoked. The university says 8 out of the 23 students have now had them reinstated. No reason why, but at least one of the students had sought legal help. A community-led student defense fund is raising money to pay for legal aid for the rest of the students.
To raise funds from faculty, staff, students, alumni, anyone else who's interested in supporting students in this situation.
UW law professor Angela Charzo says anyone who's had any contact with the criminal legal system appears to be at risk of having their visas challenged. Washington State University has shut down the Alpha Sigma Phi fraternity until 2030. That's due to hazing violations. According to the campus safety website, new members were pressured into drinking, using drugs, and forced into physical activities and cleaning duties at the fraternity. Neighbors are suing the city of Seattle over public sex acts, threats, and other crimes at the nude beach at Denny Blaine Park. More from KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson.
On a day like this,
as soon as it hits 70 degrees, I try to make my way up here.
It's suns out, buns out at Denny Blaine Park.
12 years ago, it kind of got taken over by everybody and became more of a naked beach.
Though today,
the behavior has been getting increasingly aggressive.
She speaks for more than 100 neighbors living near the park who say the park is, quote, a regional venue for criminal and uncivil behavior. She says neighbors want the city to enforce the law.
The city says it doesn't comment on ongoing litigation. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 37 points, NASDAQ ahead 220. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, watch for dark intersections in the greater Gig Harbor area. Thousands of customers without power there right now. Peninsula Light says mechanical failure is causing the outage, and crews are working to get the system up and running. In Renton, a crash is blocking a lane on I-405 northbound near State Route 167. You have some construction, too. You are pumping brakes from About Valley Medical Center up to the landing. Travel time Renton to Bellevue half an hour, 10 longer than typical. Roadwork has you a bit slow on I-5 southbound along JBLM. And you have construction on State Route 18 that has you backed up from the Tiger Mountain Summit to I-90. Traffic brought to you by KIRO Newsradio. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly sunny skies today with highs around 70. It's 58 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Our text line is open for you, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Gee, how many people do we have in our YouTube community right now?
Let me holler at them for a second.
Okay.
Let me see. 69.
69. Mm-hmm. Yesterday we were over 70. At one point we were over 100. We got to do better than that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we're going to need to give them something to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, as if colleges don't have enough to worry about right now, here's something that I was not aware of. Maybe you were.
What's that?
The number of 18-year-olds in the U.S. is about to drop dramatically. which is going to have serious implications when it comes to universities and colleges and our economy. So the estimate is a 13% drop, or nearly 500,000 fewer 18-year-olds by the year 2041.
Are going to college.
Well, no, just the population, the number of 18. I mean,
just 18-year-olds,
basically because
period.
people aren't having kids as much, right?
right,
So
okay.
this so-called demographic cliff has been predicted ever since Americans slowed down on having babies during the Great Recession at the end of 2007. And the falling birth rate has not recovered since, with the exception of during the pandemic or right after the COVID pandemic. There was a baby boom. Remember, we were talking about that.
Right.
But I didn't realize that there was going to be this great big drop, which, okay, on the one hand means there are a lot of colleges that are already not able to make ends meet, and they're closing. I didn't know this, but for a while there, they have experienced a 15% decline in enrollment already between 2010 and 2021. And those are the most recent figures that were available. And in the first half of 2024, more than a college a week announced that it was going to be closing. So, of course, my brain always goes to well, what's the positive in all this? What would you think?
Okay. It's funny you asked me about the positive.
Yes.
The positive is that today we don't get the narratives that we used to get of yesterday. The ones that the media would put out and the ones that politicians would put out. And what narrative am I talking about? Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. Have you all ever heard someone say that, hey, we got people that's just having kids so they can get another check? Have you guys ever heard that before?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of the welfare queen? Have you ever heard in serious when media would put out stories, national headlines, and they do headlines about the welfare system, they would always have pictures of black folks on there? You see, while the reason why we are having a drop in childbirths, the reason why Gen Z and Gen Alpha and them are not having kids, because they have just realized, oh, we're not getting the help. Oh, people say it's socialism to help someone with child care. Child care is like $2,000 a month.
This is true.
You just told the numbers. Didn't you say? How much is it for a child from 0 to 18? You tell me.
It was, well, the estimate, and I think it's low, is about $160,000. Yeah. Up to $250,000. So depending on which research you look at and what you're counting in terms of the cost of raising a child. No, I wasn't even thinking of that. And you brought up a whole thing that I didn't even consider.
I want to apologize to you because
yes.
What I did is sometimes I'll do stuff like that and I kind of mess up the flow of the news. But when I talk like this, I'm giving you, I can't speak for everybody, but I'll give you my perspective
and that's what I want.
On how I view the world. Is because as a almost 50-year-old man, for so many years, I watched the narrative.
Yeah.
I watched who's on drugs. I watched who the people that got arrested for weed, the war on drugs. So I apologize for messing it up.
You don't have to apologize because that is your experience. That is what you're thinking. And this is the Gee and Ursula Show. And I want your thoughts on this. What I thought of is that for a lot of students, this means this is going to be a buyer's market. So for folks who are, still on a wait list for a school that they always dreamed of going or whatever, I think it's going to be positive. So that's the positive in it, that hey, there are concerns about schools having to close, and but there are still those schools that are so hard to get into, right? That still have such a small percentage of admittance that I think that is going to be changing a little bit. So I guess that's the little positive in all of this.
Yeah. And that's a good positive.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to bring up one other topic that we haven't hit, and this is about a proposed national autism registry. Health Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. says his agency is going to be pulling private medical records as part of this study aimed at finding the cause and cure of autism.
By September, we will know what has caused the autism epidemic, and we'll be able to eliminate those exposures.
So parents and advocacy groups in Washington are worried, some cases even furious, about this proposed national autism and registry. Andrew Coe's 17-year-old son, Ethan, has profound autism.
I'm really skeptical on how they're going to acquire this database, and how they're going to create it, and how it's going to be used in the future, and how they can protect families' privacy.
And I have seen it all over TikTok and other social media. Many parents of kids with autism have taken to social media to express their outrage over this proposed registry and concerns about what it would be used for. But Leslie Moon tells Fox 13 she's open to the idea. Her 24-year-old son, Trevor, has severe autism.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with people knowing about Trevor. And if Trevor's information can help somebody else, that's what I'm all about.
How does a registry, how does that help?
Because he said by September, RFK Jr. has said that he is going to unveil the cause and potentially a cure for autism. He's outraging a lot of people who are advocates for people with autism and family members and people with autism because of some of the things that he said. The registry, I mean, his idea would be to better track who has it and see if there are any commonalities, I'm going to guess.
Yeah. Well, we have a big show. A lot of people listen. 888-973-5476. I'd be honest with you guys. I don't know. In first glance, when I hear that, I don't feel like this is helping. I don't feel like he's going to come up with some kind of cure by September. But if you know more about this topic than I do, please text in, and I would love to learn.
I wonder if he's going to make them wear black triangles.
Okay, what's that based on, Jeff?
It wasn't just Jewish people that went to the camps.
I know. I don't know that that's...
Oh, he's already talked about, like, JFK's talked about sending people with ADD to camps so that they could get nature to be cured for their disease. Like, this is like literal stuff.
This is where, how do you take this dude for real?
A registry for autism. Like I said, I don't feel in my heart it's a good idea. I don't like this. Please, somebody, educate me. I would love to learn more.
If you want to get all the data, you can get it anonymously. You don't need the people's names for that.
And right now, do you feel secure and safe in giving all that information? I mean, the one parent who talked to Fox 13 said yes, but I don't know what other people feel.
Now, granted, isn't RFK Jr. the same one that like a week ago
that said this?
Autism destroys families. More importantly, it destroys our greatest resource, which are our children. These are kids who will never pay taxes. They'll never hold a job. They'll never play baseball. They'll never write a poem. They'll never go out on a date. Many of them will never use a toilet unassisted.
Ursula, the fact that you had that ready to go.
I know of many people with autism, and some of the people hasn't Bill Gates suggested that maybe he's on the spectrum? And I don't even think it's
Elon
called
Musk.
spectrum anymore.
Scenarios next, Gee Ursula.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Best for Less sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on a set of 4 tires. Choose from a wide selection of some of our longest-lasting, best-performing tires. Plus, you'll get America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no-hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Just another way you'll get more from less. Stop by a store or shop online at leschwab.com. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
Attention, community heroes, we have a mission to improve food security 1 hour at a time. It's G. Scott here. Please join me, Safeway and Albertsons, by participating in the Nourishing Neighbors Million-Hour Volunteer Rally to improve food security by donating your time and skills. We have set a goal of 1 million volunteer hours by caring people like you. Support your local food banks by volunteering to host a food drive or fundraiser so they can better serve your community in need. Safeway and Albertsons have made it easy to learn how and where you can help at their website. On top of that, you could potentially win free groceries for a year and a $5,000 donation to your hunger relief agency of choice. To learn more, find volunteer opportunities, and log your hours, visit albertsons.com/volunteer. Just a bit of time by a lot of great people gets us closer to creating food-secure communities, 1 hour at a time. Visit albertsons.com/volunteer. Again, that's albertsons.com/volunteer.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
It's time. The new phase of premium view lots at Natchez RV Resort is open. Don't miss your opportunity to get first pick. Tig, tell us about it.
Our new phase features incredible extra-large RV lots with amazing unobstructed views. And talk about privacy, nothing will be developed behind them. And these lots start at just $80,000.
Natchez RV Resort has 300 days of sunshine and year-round family fun. Pickleball, playground, dog park, miles of recreational trails. Plus, you have fishing, hunting, skiing, and golf nearby. And don't forget wine tasting. Yakima Valley has been voted the #1 best wine region in the U.S.
Natchez RV Resort also features a 4,300 square foot clubhouse with gourmet kitchen, great room, fitness center, showers, and laundry. Plus, the brand new saltwater swimming pool and hot tub are open and ready for you.
Get your perfect pick of Natchez RV Resort's premium view lots, starting at just $80,000. Reserve your showing now. 800-422-6009. 800-422-6009. NatchezRVResort.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, thinking about testosterone replacement therapy? Revive Men's Health can help you get started if you're ready to book your free T-check. Visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. That's Revive, REVIBE, menshealth.com.
At the Harnish Auto family, people matter isn't just a saying, it's how they do business. For over 40 years, their dealerships, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Volkswagen, Subaru of Puyallup, plus Chevrolet and Kia of Everett, have built a stellar reputation on trust, respect, and great deals. From supporting local charities to making sure every customer drives away happy, they're here for you. Stop by any of their dealerships or visit HarnishAutoFamily.com and find your next car today. Harnish Auto Family. People matter.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. It's time for scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. Gee, you're pausing, and I'm going to take you up on this pause because our text line is blowing up right now. Mm-hmm. And so many of you are texting in about this last discussion we had about autism and this registry. And I think we need to just abandon the idea of scenarios right now.
Okay.
You weren't happy with the scenario.
No,
anyway,
I wasn't.
Right?
I wasn't.
And so let's just go with where everyone is taking the direction
and
of the
by the
show.
way, I mean,
it's
thank you
right
to
now.
everyone that are sending us messages with their personal stories and situations. So, Ursula, you want to go ahead and start reading some of the texts?
Nick says, that my blood pressure just jumped a couple of points. This autism registry is completely wrong, not counting the obvious HIPAA, 4th and 14th Amendment issues. There are more unsettling issues. I will not have my son's name on some list tracked by the feds, assembled by a conspiracy theorist who's already proclaimed autism is caused by vaccines and who has advocated for sending people to camps.
Crystal in our live chat on YouTube says, there are so many diseases that we need cures for. Autism is not a disease. My son has autism, and he is amazing. I honestly wouldn't cure him even if I could.
Braden in Snohomish says, I am 100% sure that I have autism. I have a full-time job. I am happily married, and I haven't had help using the bathroom since I was probably 4. He's probably right about never writing a poem, though. Thanks, Braden, for...
253 says, did you read 253? I have a 16-year-old. I have a 16-year-old with autism. Do the complications when he was born, he wasn't able to get the vaccinations that this clown thinks causes autism until after he was already diagnosed. I do know that there are some studies going on, or at least there were, that suggested that women who had a high temperature at some point during their pregnancy and women who took aspirin during their pregnancy could be a factor.
Suzanne in the 425 says, wonder what Elon thinks about RFK Jr.'s autism registry. Since Elon is on the spectrum, does Elon need a cure?
Yeah. Where Ursula? I want to take this. So thank you all for sending that.
We have a ton more.
Yeah.
There's just it's truly blowing up right now. There are so many families that are affected by autism.
Where are we going with this? What is the point? Where are we going with this having to have a registry? This is a serious question. Where's the point? Where are we going?
Because we have someone in that position who has come up with some wild conspiracy theories. I mean, the scientists have tried to say one of the reasons why we're seeing higher autism rates, and they have gone up dramatically, is that we have a better understanding of what autism is
and diagnosing it. Because back when I was younger and going to school, I'll probably speak for you and those listening, I never heard the word autism when I was coming up in the 80s.
Yes, and I just want to say, Nick is one of our smartest listeners and who also has a child with autism. He says, autism has been a feature of human existence, not an aberration. Looking at our understanding of what it actually is, you can look at visionaries and innovators throughout history that would likely today have an autism diagnosis. People tend to only look at the difficulties these people encounter and completely dismiss how it allows them to view our world. People like RFK Jr. who think it's a thing to be cured are borderline evil. And my heart goes out to, I'm seeing it all over, like I said, all over social media, mama bears and papa bears coming out saying, no, I don't want my kids on this registry.
Right. I was honest with you all, and I said, I don't really know too much about this topic, but I do know the feeling I had in my heart hearing that. And the feeling that I have, I can simplify it, Ursula. I think RFK looks at those who have been diagnosed autistic, that has autism, as less than.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. Like let's full stop. Does RFK Jr. look at people that have autism? Does he look at them as if they are on equal grounds as someone who does not?
Gee, my younger brother had severe developmental disabilities. And do you know the number of times I was asked as a child if my family would be better off if he was in a home somewhere else? How many times I was asked that? I mean, RFK said, these children are a burden on their families and society. Like, I can't use my vocabulary for that on the radio.
Well, I just thank you for sharing that, Chef. And I just want to say that we see you. We are reading your text messages. And if we didn't share it on the air, we do see you. I also see 425 says that the autism thing is not a conspiracy theory. A lot of what autism is being attributed to or what is being blamed for autism, those are conspiracy theories. Yeah. And they've gotten us into trouble.
Agree to disagree comes up next. Gee and Ursula.
At Kia of Everett, leasing your new Kia is simple, easy, and fun. Now through April 30th, lease a 2025 Kia Niro EV Wind for just $69 a month for 24 months, with $39.99 due at signing.
Lease payment on approved credit with Kia Finance America, plus tax. After $9,500 Kia Finance America 24-month lease cash and Kia of Everett discount of $32.71. Quoted payment is before monthly sales tax and fees. Select vehicles only, subject to prior sale. See dealer for full details.
The best drive you'll ever take is to Kia of Everett. Simple, easy, fun.
Hey there, Dawn Riding with Olympic Hot Tub. Swimming your way to a healthier you is now easier and more affordable than ever with an Endless Pool Swim Spa. During our spring savings event, save up to $9,000 on an Endless Pools package and get a free gift bundle including a Bluetooth sound system worth up to $3,200. Don't miss out. Ends April 13th. More at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Need to hire quality candidates fast? You need Indeed. Their video interview tool makes it easy and effortless to meet with candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Reutin, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Matt Piper in New York, where Luigi Mangione has just pleaded not guilty in the killing of the United Healthcare CEO. It comes as federal prosecutors filed a notice of intent to seek the death penalty. CBS's Anna Schechter with more on that argument.
They speak to future dangerousness. So they allege that Mangione presents a future danger because he expressed intent to target an entire industry and rally political and social opposition to that industry.
It's the maximum sentence for George Santos. The former congressman is now heading to prison. It's over his federal wire fraud and identity theft convictions, as Christopher Cruz reports.
The government had asked the judge to sentence Santos to prison for 7 years. The judge gave Santos that and 3 months more. Prosecutor John Durham.
Today's sentence demonstrates that this egregious conduct will not and never will be tolerated.
Santos sobbed as he heard his punishment. His lawyers had asked for the mandatory minimum sentence of 2 years. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Now to Wisconsin, where the FBI has arrested Judge Hannah Dugan. They accuse her of preventing the arrest of a man by immigration authorities.
Judge Dugan will be free, no justice, no peace. Judge Dugan will be free.
That's what it now sounds like outside her Milwaukee courthouse. CBS's Scott McFarlane.
The FBI director in a social media post announced the judge had been arrested this morning and was facing a charge of obstruction for what happened in her court a week ago today. That social media post has vanished. It's been deleted. There's been no explanation as to why. But the allegation here is that there was somebody the feds were trying to detain in the judge's courtroom last Friday, and she was accused of rerouting the agents, which stopped them from making the detention of that man who was in her courtroom.
Now to Rome, where 3 days of public viewing of Pope Francis's body has now ended. The Vatican says about 250,000 mourners paid their respects over the last 3 days. CBS's Tony Aiello is there.
Some of Pope Francis's relatives were among those who paid their respects as he lay in state in a simple wooden coffin. Many mourners waited for hours for a glimpse of the late pontiff.
To see the Pope in his simple coffin, it takes your breath away.
His funeral is tomorrow. Our coverage here begins at 4 a.m. Eastern Time. Consumer sentiment has now fallen to its lowest level since a post-pandemic peak over things like tariff worries. Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady.
We've seen a 32% drop since January. That is the steepest decline since the 1990 recession.
Martinelli apple juice has been recalled in 28 states due to potential mold contamination. It's some of the company's 4-packs of its glass apple juice bottles. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A mass shooting in Newcastle. The story coming up, but first from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. Watch out for dark intersections. You've got a major power outage in the greater Gig Harbor area. Treat those dark intersections as 4-way stops. Peninsula Light tells us that a mechanical failure is causing the problem there. Crews are working to get the system back up and running. In Renton, the crash may have been cleared from I-405 northbound near State Route 167. Your backup's easing. Travel time Renton to Bellevue, 26 minutes. That's only about 5 minutes longer than typical. Traffic brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. For all your heating, electrical, septic, and mechanical needs, stop freaking call Beacon.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A mass shooting in Newcastle has left 3 people dead. King County deputies say it happened last night in a townhome on Southeast 75th Street off 129th Place Southeast. A neighbor says a family lived there.
They were friendly guys. They were good people as far as I see from.
They are not telling us the circumstances deputies aren't around this shooting, but they say the public is not at risk. Seattle police have released new, more clear photos of the motorcycle rider they believe struck a couple in South Seattle 1 week ago today. We've posted them at mynorthwest.com. The biker fled the scene, and the couple's daughter wants him to know.
You destroy my family, and you deserve punishment.
She tells KIRO 7 TV her father was injured and her mother, 57-year-old Min Hong Huang, died from her injuries. Seattle police say the owner of a car that rolled into and killed a schoolgirl will not face criminal charges. The latest from KIRO 7 TV's Madeline Ottley.
It happened early March. An unoccupied SUV rolled, hitting and killing Arsema Berkau. Her parents' grief palpable, no matter the language you speak.
Who killed my kid?
Police say the person who left the car was not impaired and there were no open recalls on the vehicle. SPD said they worked with prosecutors, ultimately issuing parking violations for leaving a car in a no parking zone near a hydrant and for failing to properly stop and secure it.
But there were no applicable criminal charges. A key Seattle bridge is shutting down for the weekend. The city's replacing expansion joints and repaving the 108-year-old Ballard Bridge. SDOT's Jules Posadas is asking drivers to stay away from the corridor.
We strongly advise travelers to use Aurora as a main alternative detour route if they need to cross the Ship Canal. And this is kind of very similar to what we did last year.
This is the first of 4 full weekend closures of the Ballard Bridge. In the first round of the NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks chose to bolster the offensive line.
With the 18th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Gray Zabel, guard, North Dakota State.
The Seahawks have 4 picks to make tonight, 2 in the second round, 2 in the third. Coverage of the draft tonight begins at 4 on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly sunny skies today with highs around 70. It's 58 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning. Have you ever been doing some cleanup, maybe in the garage or that spare room or that storage shed, and you're going to do some cleaning and rearranging, and then you come across like maybe some pictures or some letters or something that had you from the past. And then all of a sudden you get stuck. And so you had a plan and a mission of what you were going to do, but because you saw these pictures or because you saw these letters, you just spent the next few hours just on that.
That happens almost on a weekly, if not sometimes daily basis.
That's what just happened to the Gee and Ursula Show. Chef, you did all this work. You guys did all this work preparing this show. And Ursula, you brought up one little topic, and this show has gone.
Yes. And it's eye-opening to see how many families are both enlightened and affected by autism. And I want to say that the number of people who have texted in or shared with us the joy that their children bring in their lives, children who are on the spectrum. And I do want to say, just real quick, that Leslie was featured in the story that I was sharing on Fox 13 News. And she said, she actually texted in, she was listening, and she says, I feel like my opinion was a bit misrepresented in the edited news story. She said, I was talking most about my son with severe level 3 autism and the lack of services. And I did say that I have no problem sharing his information, that information share I want with scientists and researchers in hopes of better behavioral supports, etc., not just that I'm not totally pro-autism registry. I don't want to sound like I'm pro-autism registry. I mean, and I thank you for that clarification. We've actually are hoping to arrange for an interview with her, but the vast majority of people who are texting in, I've yet to see anyone say, I want a registry.
There's new folks texting our show.
Yes.
Right now. Like folks that have never texted before.
Exactly.
And this was the topic that made you text in.
Yes. Well, you're talking about your children. And I get it. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. We want to continue to hear your stories because you are teaching us too.
All right, Chef. Agree to disagree. Brought to you by Garden of Freaking Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
Are you guys ready to take a turn? Have some fun.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I've been trying to do that for 2 hours now.
Okay.
Wait. Before the show started, Gee, this whole time you've been saying, I want to kick back and let Ursula do the questions. And I keep dragging you back in.
Well, and somebody texted in and said, Gee, I thought you said when Medved came on, you were going to ask any questions.
No, I kept pointing at you.
Man.
You're not going to get off that easy. No.
All right, deep breath. So if you're feeling a little tired, maybe a little burned out by the news, Gee, there are now luxury resorts where you can pay to be untethered from your phone. So they will not allow you to connect. You check it in the box at the beginning. There's no Wi-Fi there.
No.
Can't even bring in a burner.
No.
Do you think you need that? Could you do it?
No. Anybody seen White Lotus season 3? If you've seen White Lotus season 3, you know what that's about. No, Ursula, we can't do that. I don't.
Why? No, seriously, why? What? Describe what you would feel at that moment if you found out that you could not access your phone when you had that itch. What's the worst that could happen?
All right. Look, sometimes I love, usually when I have get-togethers or if I have been working, like auctioneering and all that kind of stuff, I don't have access to my phone. I don't really get on it. That's great. But I think that parents out there, parents that have children, maybe there's situations going on amongst friends, amongst family. Right now is not a time I can be without my phone.
Okay, I understand. Okay, I get that. Let's say you're not. Let's say you're not in this space right now because you have a lot going on.
I still don't think so.
Okay.
Even with that,
because it would
said.
cause way too much anxiety for you.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
I think I could do it, but I'm not going to pay to have that service. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Right.
Pay to do that?
Well,
what a scam.
Well, no, think about it, right? So I enjoy going camping. I enjoy not being connected to Wi-Fi or being able to use my phone to connect to the internet. But, in a few short years, it's going to be virtually impossible to be anywhere on the planet and not have access to the internet. So you will need an inescapable space. Gee, have you ever tried meditating before? Because this is kind of my experience with smartphone withdrawal. Is when I try to meditate, at least the problem is my mind actually starts thinking and it starts racing through all kinds of uncomfortable thoughts. And if I'm not constantly entertaining myself with my phone, it's like, oh gosh, my own thoughts are painful. I don't like this. Give me my phone back.
But seriously, what did we do before these phones? What were we doing with our idle time?
I don't know. I don't know.
And
Chef,
I think
just asked a question about meditating. I tried to meditate last month.
And what happened?
It's not even fun. It's not even funny.
Can you take me through the steps that you tried? What did you do?
I sat down. Nobody was home. And this was going to be my thing. I said, hey, because I'm hearing that meditating is really good for you.
It's extremely good. I've heard the same.
Yeah.
So for the first minute, I was trying to just get my thoughts clear. I thought, okay, because they told you guys just power through it. So I'm just sitting there. So I'm really not going to get there till I get comfortable. After a minute, it was worse after the minute than it was the first 10 seconds. I could not shut off. As a matter of fact, it got worse. I can't do it. I couldn't do it.
But this is where, if you had to do it for a prolonged amount of time, I think it would get easier. And I say that to go without the phone, because I don't think this constant connection is good for us at all. I do think it's going to shorten life expectancy. I think there are going to be studies down the road saying, because the stress level, the anxiety. I mean, I know that initially it's like a withdrawal, but I think in the long run you would be better off. I mean, the last time I tried to meditate, though, I think there's something that you and I have in common. It's like you cannot chill very well.
Well, okay.
Because I'll tell you where I was. I was in the middle of Lake Chelan. My friend Sonia, if she's listening right now, we were there.
In the water?
And we were in the water, yes. And we were in the middle, and we were just by ourselves on rafts. And we were trying to talk each other through, okay, let's go, starting from your head, go down and, let this part of your body relax. We were laughing hysterically in the middle of the lake by ourselves. Could not do it.
I would just fall asleep. You know what I mean? And so I just... Everybody has different professions. You all know what we do every single day. And so people say to me sometimes, gee, I don't know how are you able to talk that long? Or when I'm doing an event, how are you able to talk that long? So if you say, how are we able to talk that long? Just think about what's going on in our brain.
There's a lot.
You know, like, gee, how do you come up with those analogies all the time? Those analogies live in my head. By the way,
I'm sorry.
By the way, I can't say what it was, but I probably gave the worst analogy in the history of analogies today. But anyway,
Oh yeah. But you apologized. That's a good one.
That was a bad
See,
analogy.
I think if you're good at meditating, you're the equivalent of like a mental endurance athlete.
No.
Pro tip though, Gee, I've heard from meditation experts that even if your mind is going nuts, right, the thought is to notice what you are thinking about and where it's coming from. It's not to like actually get your mind to disappear everything. But let me move on here. I guess this is slightly related. In 2016, there's this guy. His name's Aaron Chernovac. He's from LA. Drove to Vegas one weekend to symbolically marry his smartphone at the Little Vegas Chapel. And he said he was doing it to highlight our deepening relationship with technology. And that made me wonder, like, gee, what would you miss more for 3 days? Your phone or your partner?
What the heck is this? Hey, Nick, hey, bro, you go ahead and answer this. This is some, you almost had me cut. This is some bull.
We lived without a phone at one point.
Go ahead, Nick. What you got?
We lived without a phone at one point, so I think, you can reach that again.
Okay. Ursula?
Okay,
Ursula?
No, you're not going to get away.
I would miss my spouse. Go ahead, Ursula.
Oh, me too.
You guys are both lying. You're both lying. I know it. I'll be honest. Like, see, the thing is, I would miss her, like the connection with her more, but I would think more about not having the phone.
No, this is
Absolutely.
This is so pathetic. This is so bad.
I just want to say, the 5.5 years, absolute worst question in agree to disagree history.
Is that just because you're already in trouble?
First time I blinked.
Because you're forcing G to lie.
Speaking of unhealthy addictions, why am I doing this?
I don't know.
Just saw this today. Red Robin is offering burger subscriptions, so you can get a monthly membership for $20 for bottomless burgers.
Wait a minute.
Arby's has done fast food prescriptions in the past. So
are you for real?
Yeah. Yes.
Wait, no, seriously.
Yeah, I haven't bothered to look up the details because this is agree to disagree, and we don't go very deep.
Well, I wish Ursula would get into the details on this.
Yeah, wait. What? So Red Robin, because they have the bottomless fries.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, okay, it's been a bit since I've been to Red Robin, and I love their fries, and I love the seasoning that you put on them. But have you noticed their bottomless fries keep getting smaller and smaller?
Oh, they do?
They start off with, it used to be plentiful, and now which is good for us, I get.
Right.
But, in any case.
So
the idea of right now, a burger is close to $20 anymore, right? Like if you're going to get a burger like Red Robin. Yeah. So if you are a regular, I think that's brilliant.
So Red Robin announced on Monday. By the way, I'm researching agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Never happens.
The first time ever.
Yeah.
It took a Red Robin burger question for him to actually research.
No doubt. Red Robin announced Monday that it has launched the Bottomless Burger Pass. For just $20, customers who purchase the pass will receive a black and gold card. Why got to be about color? Anyway, in the mail.
It's like the Amex Black, right?
I know. Black and gold card in the mail that earns them the right to a burger and bottomless fries every day. Oh, that's the catch. A burger. So you come in.
It's not all you can eat, but.
Right, you get a burger.
Yeah, it's like a movie
and
pass.
you also get the bottomless fries. So you come in for $20 and you can go eat there once a day?
Yeah, because they're smart. Because they know that most people aren't going to go there more than.
I'm testing that out this weekend.
Okay.
Oh,
really?
For real. Heck
you
yeah.
can order your burger with no bun, though.
Yeah, they can do a lettuce wrap.
By the way, y'all be disrespectful to Red Robin. Red Robin's
fantastic.
Okay. Oh, fantastic.
No.
Y'all be dissing Red Robin. It ain't Applebee's. Red Robin's legit.
I don't have a problem with Applebee's either.
and don't have
sign me up.
Don't have a problem with Olive Garden either.
No.
That was cracking.
Well, there's something about the nostalgia of the experience too, man.
While we're at it, Red Lobster.
Yeah. Oh no, Red Lobster was fancy. Olive Garden was like, that was special, but Red Robin,
my mom
Red
loved
Lobster.
Olive Garden and Applebee's.
My grandparents used to go there for what was it, like $2.99 all you can eat salad and soup. Tip like $1, I think.
I always wish there was a Chili's near my place too. Chili's.
Yeah.
I've never been inside a Chili's before.
Same.
Bro, what does Chili have? Chili's?
Baby back, baby back, baby back.
Oh, yeah, baby.
It's like a fancy Applebee's to me.
Yeah. I actually took Alice to Olive Garden a little while ago. And speaking of, it's actually her birthday today. Happy 4th birthday, Alice. And Ursula, I was mentioning to you that we were having a party this weekend.
What, you ain't inviting me?
No, because we're already having 30 people over at our house, and I was telling my wife that's far too many. We're just going to get both of ourselves in trouble today, G. Ursula, do you think kids' birthday parties are out of control these days?
I know mine became out of control. When I got to the point when I was doing bouncy houses each year.
Oh, yes, right?
Yeah, then it was like, and then now you've got to invite, now you have to invite the whole class and then friends of the class. I mean, it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And then at one point, our youngest son in particular was like, no more birthday parties. To this day, he just says, can we just do, he doesn't even want to do extended family. He loves just the smaller group.
I was that kid too. Because I had anxiety, right? I didn't know it back then. And it was too much. My wife was telling me, she's like, yeah, we're just going to do it at the house this year because we were looking at, renting out one of those jump zone places. Our friends have done it. It's like $700.
It is.
I'm like, I would rather rent an Airbnb for 2 nights and go on vacation. Like, people pass out like these elaborate goodie bags these days. Like, every kid has to walk away with a gift. Plus, there's food. Like, people are spending $1,000.
The goodie bags. But you know what? I would have such fun putting together those goodie bags, too. It was almost more for me than it was the kids anymore.
It's like bags of dollar store crap from, China, basically. I mean, it's just more plastic. I don't need more plastic in my house.
That's
true. I appreciate all the parents that keep it chill.
How about you, G?
Yeah.
Right now, G's looking at our text line or the YouTube page.
Very deep.
Because right now, tons of people are texting in all their favorite chain restaurants.
And this has been the best part of the show today. Talking about food.
Yeah.
Everything else we talked about is
too heavy.
It's way
too heavy for a Fresh Friday.
One more time, G. What'd you miss more for 3 days? Your wife or your phone?
Oh, my wife.
Of course.
Going up next here on the Gee and Ursula
It's
Show.
just not even something that needed to be repeated.
Yeah.
We got Angela coming on.
Hey.
Oh, Angela Paul Russell.
Yeah.
What's she talking about?
For some reason, she said she's never going to the movies again.
I think she had a great experience at a particular type of theater. This is what I'm getting. She's going to share that with us coming up next.
Okay, I just want to tell you, if I'm getting ready to call Red Robin, if they don't have this,
that's where your brain went. Red Robin. You're thinking about this hamburger.
if they don't
thing.
have this subscription, that's false advertising and that's fake news, and that's misinformation. So I'm about to call them during the break. We'll come back next. I'll tell you all about it. This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
She's local.
I grew up in Olympia.
She's experienced.
I've been very lucky to be in Seattle for 23 years.
Now, Manda Factor is home on KIRO Newsradio.
This is where I want to be. It's where I've always wanted to be.
Experience matters. Experience for yourself. Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor. Every morning 6 to 9 on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
It's time. The new phase of premium view lots at Natchez RV Resort is open. Don't miss your opportunity to get first pick. Ty, tell us about it.
Our new phase features incredible extra-large RV lots with amazing unobstructed views. And talk about privacy, nothing will be developed behind them. And these lots start at just $80,000.
Natchez RV Resort has 300 days of sunshine and year-round family fun. Pickleball, playground, dog park, miles of recreational trails. Plus, you have fishing, hunting, skiing, and golf nearby. And don't forget wine tasting. Yakima Valley has been voted the #1 best wine region in the U.S.
Natchez RV Resort also features a 4,300 square foot clubhouse with gourmet kitchen, great room, fitness center, showers, and laundry. Plus, the brand new saltwater swimming pool and hot tub are open and ready for you.
Get your perfect pick of Natchez RV Resort's premium view lots, starting at just $80,000. Reserve your showing now. 800-422-6009. 800-422-6009. NatchezRVResort.com.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of their National Red Tag Sales Event, now extended through April 27th. Stop by any of their participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales Event, extended through April 27th. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Swim your way to a healthier you with an endless pool swim spa from Olympic Hot Tub. During our spring savings event, save up to $9,000 on an endless pools package, free Bluetooth music, and more. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you. Better life.
Hey, Spike O'Neill for Sharp Vision, Modern LASIK and Lens. About 2 months ago, I finally given up to the fact that I wasn't as young as I used to be and my eyeballs were not as young as they used to be. It didn't work as well as to be. I always had perfect vision in my life, but I noticed deterioration. So I went to the folks at Sharp Vision, Modern LASIK and Lens, had a full eye exam. They do amazing work. And it was determined that by their very excellent staff, I had the beginnings of cataract. And I was a perfect candidate for refractive lens exchange, RLE surgery. Now, the folks at Sharp Vision, Modern LASIK and Lens have done over 80,000 successful lens replacement surgeries. So I was in great hands. My care team from start to finish put me at ease, answered all my questions. The procedure was easy. I was in and out in less than an hour. And within a couple of weeks, my recovery was complete. I've got 20/10 vision. Colors are brighter, more focused. I'll never need readers again, and I will never develop a cataract. They are the future of vision over 45. Give the folks at Sharp Vision, Modern LASIK and Lens a call, 425-451-2020. That's 425-451-2020 or online at sharp-vision.com, sharp with an e-vision.com, official eye care providers of Sounders FC.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Are you putting off your new kitchen plans? Why wait? Hi, Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Call today for a free in-home estimate. Years of experience, thousands of happy customers. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600 or heritagehomecraft.com.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on mynorthwest.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
At the Harnish Auto family, people matter isn't just a saying, it's how they do business. For over 40 years, their dealerships, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Volkswagen, Subaru of Puyallup, plus Chevrolet and Kia of Everett, have built a stellar reputation on trust, respect, and great deals. From supporting local charities to making sure every customer drives away happy, they're here for you. Stop by any of their dealerships or visit HarnishAutoFamily.com and find your next car today. Harnish Auto Family. People matter.
I've never had any complaints about my performance in the bedroom. But after turning 40, I noticed my libido just wasn't what it used to be. That's when I reached out to Revive Health. Their team knew exactly what I needed, which is why today, my wife and I are both more satisfied than ever.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, text BOOST to 65555 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to schedule your appointment. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help. Text stop to cancel. See privacy policy at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy-policy. For info on how opt-in info will be used and terms and conditions at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of short code service.
At Carter Subaru, your drive begins with savings. With over 300 new vehicles in stock, shop your way, in-store or from home. Plus, when you buy from Carter, you support our community. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard today.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A judge has ruled that prosecutors can pursue the death penalty against Brian Kohberger if he's convicted of murdering 4 University of Idaho students in 2022. His attorneys had argued that because Kohberger is on the autism spectrum, sentencing him to death would be cruel and unusual punishment. The judge said Kohberger's mild form of the disorder is no excuse. The man accused of fatally shooting the CEO of United Healthcare pleaded not guilty today to murder. CBS's Anna Schechter reports prosecutors say they intend to seek the death penalty if Luigi Mangione is convicted.
They speak to future dangerousness. So they allege that Mangione presents a future danger because he expressed intent to target an entire industry and rally political and social opposition to that industry.
Investigators say Mangione had notes that expressed hostility toward the health insurance industry and its wealthy executives. A Wisconsin county judge has been arrested accused of helping a man evade immigration authorities. FBI Director Kash Patel announced the arrest in a social media post. CBS's Scott McFarland.
The allegation here is that there was somebody the feds were trying to detain in the judge's courtroom last Friday, and she was accused of rerouting the agents, which stopped them from making the detention of that man who was in her courtroom.
The man was eventually detained. Judge Hannah Duggan briefly appeared in federal court today before being released until her next court appearance May 15th. A federal judge blocks President Trump from denying federal funds to Seattle and other sanctuary cities. Seattle City Attorney Ann Davison spoke with KIRO News Radio's John Curley after joining the lawsuit challenging the president's orders.
Well, it's lawful to be, we call it a welcoming city. It is lawful to be that. 4 out of 5 federal appellate circuit courts have determined these laws are lawful.
Seattle, King County, and Washington State all have laws that prohibit law enforcement from assisting ICE. There is hopeful news out of the University of Washington today for Alzheimer's patients.
The drug is called donanemab. UW School of Medicine Dr. Michael Rosenblum says the drug gives patients more time to drive, pay bills, recognize family and friends before the disease progresses.
Over an 18-month period, this drug will buy them about 7.5 months compared to someone who's not on the drug.
Donanemab slows the progression of cognitive decline in patients like memory loss by removing a rogue protein from the brain called amyloid. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
On Wall Street, the Dow is down 110 points. NASDAQ is up 120. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, there is a power outage in the greater Gig Harbor area. Treat those dark intersections as four-way stops. Peninsula Light says a mechanical failure is causing that outage, but utility crews are making progress getting the power restored. In the South Hill area, a crash is blocking all southbound lanes of State Route 161 at 122nd Street East. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly sunny skies today with highs around 70. It is 62 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Fresh Friday to all of you. Our text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO, and our text line has been filled with comments about Red Robin, burgers, fast food, well, not fast food chains, but chain restaurants, and Gee is all. Why are you disappointed?
Because this is why I'm disappointed. Because I'm about to start doing research on Agree to Disagree. You know, because I went to go do research, and a lot of you all text in, Joey, thank you, give for information. I actually called Red Robin.
You did during the break.
I called him.
I've never seen you get right on a topic like you did with the Red Robin thing.
Yeah, and then come to find out, the news really isn't the news.
What do you mean?
USA Today had the information. USA Today told me, they were like, hey, yes, I read it to you guys. I promise you I did. I read it right from there. And USA Today basically was letting me know that it announced on Monday they launched the Bottomless Burger Pass. So after reading this article, I get excited, and then only to find out that they didn't have enough. The website crashed the other day. And so guess what's on my mind right now? Red Robin and the fact that I can't get it.
Okay. There's another thing. We've got one of our very favorite people joining us here in a second, but I also want to mention one other thing. Y'all, thank you. We launched the YouTube channel, and we've been promoting it, and lo and behold, who is leading the pack on our station when it comes to live stream and the number of folks watching? Gee and Ursula Show. We just got a memo. Gee and Ursula Show has 5 of the top 10 live streams.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey. So y'all on the live stream, y'all hanging out with us.
Exactly. So keep it up. But right now we want to say hello to our friend and colleague, Angela Poe Russell, because Angela, you went to the movies and you said you're never going to go to another theater again. Can you explain all this?
If I can help it, yes. By the way, congratulations on the streams. I am so happy for you all.
Oh, you're sweet.
So I don't normally go to movies. It's like a rare thing. But Gee just was raving about Sinners. So I'm like, I have to go see Sinners. And, you know, in this economy, I was like, how do I support local? So I'm like, let's find a local theater. So I went to Stiff downtown. I want to say they have 2 locations, one Queen Anne, one downtown. And I was just blown away. I said, if I can go to the movies like this, I will go more often.
And what did you call it? What did you call it? So I'm sorry. SIFF.
SIFF.
SIFF. SIFF.
Yes. Seattle International Film Festival is what it stands for, downtown. I want to say this was the old Cinerama. It was renovated. And so it's just one theater. So you have to, if it's a movie you want to see.
It's on 4th Avenue. Okay, so what made it so different, and what is having you rave about it?
Okay, so affordability. I like, you know how you go to the movie and you're like, I just spent $60 on popcorn and a drink. This was so reasonable. I mean, you could get a little bag of popcorn for $5 or like a little bit bigger one for $7. Like, this is reasonable. And then, okay, this is the kicker. I was able to have hot tea, and they had coffee. And I was like, wait, I had a choice of herbal tea or, something with caffeine. And then I love that they were environmentally conscious. So they were using cups, so you could just turn them in and they would, use them again. And the kicker is the popcorn. So they have regular, or you can get mixed with chocolate.
Oh.
So it's a mixture of, So and here's the beautiful thing. I know this was real butter and everything because my stomach did not hurt that night. It did not hurt the next day. And the chocolate popcorn mixed with the regular popcorn is like everything you've been waiting for.
So how was the movie, Sinners?
Oh, okay. It was amazing. I felt like I was transported to this like fantastical, horrific. I mean, it was just all the, you know how sometimes, like even if there are points in a movie, you're like, I don't know about that, I don't know about that. You were still on this marvelous journey. I felt like I saw something that was different and unique. And it made me angry that people were critics. Like once I saw it for myself, I said, what are these critics talking about? And it just reminded me, like, go see movies for yourself. You know, art is subjective.
Sure.
I will say, I can understand a little bit of the criticism, and if the criticism comes from someone maybe 25 years and younger. You know what I mean?
Way?
Well, I think it would be a little tougher for them to get some of the things that was in there. Even you know what I mean? And like kind of it's easy for you. It's easier for me to truly have an understanding in the journey throughout. Like, for an example, when they started to talk about the music, right? Where the evolution of music has come, right? And we saw that. We can look back to good times and we can think about that photo, the artwork that you see in there, right? See, I just said good times artwork and you automatically knew what that was.
I automatically know what that is.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I can
and
understand.
I missed that in the movie. Was that there?
No, but the scene about the evolution of music and then artwork is the evolution of music.
If you could encapsulate, what is Sinners about? So, because I don't pay attention to movies. It's been a while since I've gone. So, what is it about? And if anyone's trying to decide,
Yeah. You're better than this
I
me.
would say it's about this preacher's kid who wants to explore music. And the preacher is just like, this is bad stuff out there. And he's like, but I want to go see. And so he goes out into the world. And at the end, well, I won't say. But yeah, so that I would say is how I would sum it up. And so he goes out into this world of, you know, where his dad said it's rough out there, and he encounters some really bad stuff. Yeah. And it's kind of horror, and yeah.
And
would you add anything, G?
And to bring the music back current day, right? To make it make sense for you guys, it would be the same as sometimes the preacher's kid, they try to reel them in and have them stay locked in. They don't want them to go out into the world because they want to protect them. Well, the kid feels like if I get out into the world, my world, it'd be opened up. And yeah, it is. And they are progressive and they're thinking all these things. But even when they get out there, they're like, oh my goodness, maybe life wouldn't have been so bad tucked in with my daddy as a preacher. That's
okay,
today,
yeah.
though. Like
Yes.
sometimes when you get out in the real world,
Yes.
you're like, oh, I'm out in the real world. And you're like, oh, this real world is something full of vampires.
Yeah. And who are the main actors?
Michael B. Jordan, who plays twins. It was so well done.
He plays. Yeah, it was really good. Oh, and one other footnote on the movie thing. When we were leaving the theater, the people were like, "We have leftovers. Take free popcorn."
Stop.
I mean, who does that?
You know what, Angela? My next
sold.
I need to go to SIFS.
SIF, yeah.
Yes,
So it stands for Seattle International Film Festival.
Now, I have to warn you, it is Seattle, so you have to find a parking garage.
Oh boy,
Angela. Okay.
Plan it for you.
Yes.
You just plan ahead.
Yes.
Plan ahead.
No,
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. You know what? That right there would get people not to vote for you, Angela. You were doing so good, and at the very end, you wanted to tell the truth about parking.
Okay, well, I should have started with that. I need to try this. Let me reframe this. Sometimes in life, you have to go through things, but if you go through it, you're rewarded.
There you go.
Plan ahead, park ahead, take your time, enjoy your chocolate popcorn and hot tea.
Oh,
and wine. And
that
wine
chocolate
and all
popcorn is legendary, by the way. Sif is known for
Yep.
that. Okay, Angela Paul Russell is going to be on the Jake and Spike show coming up next.
Actually,
No,
it's
Curly. We're Curly.
Oh, the Curly. Yep.
Well, I got that all wrong. Sorry.
Are you doing it with somebody?
Mike Lewis.
You and
There
Mike
you
Lewis,
go.
okay. Well, y'all get some Angela Paul Russell and Mike Lewis today at 3 o'clock. Awesome.
Love it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right.
Thank
talk
you.
soon. All right, text message feedback, and then we'll have Ursula's words to live by. We've been late every time.
car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Are you looking at diversification and stability with your investment portfolio, especially with the volatility right now in the stock market? Hi, I'm Scott Reutin, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years. We've had zero investor losses and have averaged double-digit returns since inception. Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given market conditions. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Legacy's Northwest Fund also accepts IRA accounts as well. Find out why over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Get in touch with us today. Legacy's Northwest Fund returning 9% has limited opening for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Hi, it's John Curley. You know, I've been a patient of Longevity Medical Clinic since 2009, and Longevity Medical Clinic has been helping people live longer, healthier lives for more than 25 years. You know what's amazing, doctor? The feelings that you have after just a couple of months. You sleep better. Your strength and vitality, it is evident that it works. It's really a mindset, though, Dr. Mixon, because a lot of people, well, this is what's supposed to happen.
Let us help you be stronger, faster, leaner, smarter, sexier, but most important, happier. I'm less impressed by how many years I might live, but how much I live during my years. You know, the option is here. Nobody's going to make you go to longevity, but the opportunity is there, and all you have to do is take advantage of it. I don't know why anybody would not want to do what we do.
And that's where Longevity Medical Clinic comes in. So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riding with Olympic Hot Tub. Swimming your way to a healthier you is now easier and more affordable than ever with an Endless Pool Swim Spa. During our spring savings event, save up to $9,000 on an Endless Pools package and get a free gift bundle including a Bluetooth sound system worth up to $3,200. Don't miss out. Ends April 13th. More at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub. Announcing the Million Hour Volunteer Rally. Donate your time to local food banks or host a food drive. You can win groceries for a year and a $5,000 donation. Visit albertsons.com/volunteer to learn more. It's the Gee and Ursula Show. You know, your eyes play tricks on you. I'm getting my backyard done, Ursula, and the person putting everything together was telling me about my eyes. Like, your eyes stop here when you come in here, and they're going to focus on this, blah, blah. Well, you have some text messages, and there's one from Jenna in Olympia where I saw the text, but my eyes only focused on one thing, so I didn't read the text.
Good morning, G. We have a request from one of our listeners.
What they want?
Who said, can we get G to have a fit of laughter, like when you just
lose all control of your laughter because that is her favorite part of the show.
Really?
Okay, then you find. Oh my goodness. Why? You are killing me.
Have you ever heard somebody say something that just tickled you? That was an example of being tickled.
I have to laugh because otherwise I'll cry. Oh, it's so unsexy. I love that montage.
That was good.
Well,
But-
what you read. So you got to explain what you read.
So look, Jenna, by the way, Jenna's listening right now. Jenna, love you, Jenna. So let's have some fun. I saw the text come through, but my eyes only saw KKK. Okay? So I didn't read the text because it said KKK. It's not a text I wanted to read. Well, come to find out, that's the text that Ursula read. And then I didn't see that. And then I saw a text come in and says, oh gosh, that looks creepy with 3 KKKs. I was just trying to sound it out, but don't know how to make that sound. And to which what she meant was, she meant the kikiing, right? Yeah, some folks call it kikiing. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But she put that KKK, and I was like, whoa, that's not the giggle. Jenna, you're awesome. Thank you.
It's been a while since we got one of those legit.
All right.
Okay, we talked, one of our top stories was the fraternity that has been shut down by Washington State University for hazing. Brad from Grand Mount says, I'm not saying it's right, but that's what fraternities are all about. I was in a Wazoo fraternity in the 80s. After the experience, though, I didn't like it either.
509 says hazing in
frats.
Thank you. Frats. Thank you, Ursula. Because Lord. Hazing in flats. I still did it.
I was trying to help you. Frats. Remember what you just said about your eyes. Just blame it on the eyes. Okay, hazing and frats.
It's no different than schoolyard bullying, and we know where our American culture has come to, and a large portion of Americans are driven to feel being a part of a group that they can identify.
No charges for the woman whose vehicle rolled away and killed a middle school student. 206 says prior to automatic transmissions, parked cars used to roll down hills all the time. That's why there are parking laws saying that you must turn the front wheels all the way.
I've been trying to do that for 2 hours now.
What the heck is that? Yes.
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 I've been trying to.
Are you guys ready to take a turn? Have some
Yes.
fun.
What is happening?
Are you guys ready to take a turn?
Chef.
Can you not hear that?
Oh, sorry, guys.
Playing audio?
Yeah, sorry, my computer was on.
Oh my
bad.
goodness. Oh my goodness. I was about to talk about
I just listen.
We are train wrecking the end of the show.
I just want y'all to know this show is off the rails. It is official. I mean, it's over.
I am trying to say something really serious
there's no coming back.
What?
Words to live by. This show is over. This show is cooked. You are talking about the kids say, hey, the show is cheeks right now.
Thanks, Chef.
Welcome.
But this is important information. I want to finish this one. Because if the car rolls, it'll just do a 90 and stop. So, again, turn the front wheels all the way toward the curb. That was the suggestion, and it's a very good one. Chef. Okay, hey, the words to live by are about laughter. If you laugh a lot, when you get older, your wrinkles will be in all the right places. And to quote Charlie Chaplin, a day without laughter is a day wasted.
Oh.
So I hope y'all have a chance to laugh today, if not just that last segment where we really crashed it.
Well, so check this out, guys.
You know what's so funny? Okay, hang on.
What do you got?
I'm looking over there. You and I are looking at each other like, what is happening? What is happening? And Chef is just completely clueless over here.
When I preview audio, I can't hear the. Yeah.
That's how
I'm a professional.
That's how the text messages was happening when I was watching text messages happen in real time, and I'm looking around like, what is going on? This show is just.
I like looking over at Chef and seeing it even realize.
All right, Nick, what you got, bruh?
Well, after getting warmed up for the weekend with the draft, we can stay home for a couple days and rest up on our craft. But don't ask Gee or Ursula to put cell phones away, or they might be giving up their spouse to let their true love stay. And I know know the depths are boundless just to hold on to that phone, even waiting to renew IDs that sets your time in stone. The sacrifices are limitless for that thing in your pocket.
Oh, hey, Nick, you really had to bring the cell phones back up, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. We're roasting you on a Friday.
Hey, real quick, listen, I was just thinking about something. The next time I talk to you on Monday, because I will be in on Monday, I will know where Baby G is heading to. So no matter what happens this weekend, he will be heading to a new city. So on Monday, I don't think I'll fly out on Monday for sure, wherever it is, but I will be. So on Monday, be prepared for that. It'll be exciting. We'll be hanging out, talking about it. So, Ursula, have a good weekend.
You too.
Chef, have a good one, bruh.
Thank you.
Jen and Olympia, you have a good weekend. You're going to have to tell that story all weekend. Because them KKKs got me. Hey, Nick, appreciate you.
You too.
Hey, the Jake and Spike Show, they're coming in next. Make sure you guys stick around. We appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
For fun. But you can believe it's going to take the rest of my life to keep you.
Enjoy your drive home with the John Curley Show.
Go talk to the customer and find out why they went for Donald Trump, and then why not satisfy that customer as opposed to just destroying the guy.
Weekday afternoons from 3 to 7 on KIRO News Radio.
With everything going on these days, it's more important than ever to buy your new car from a dealership you trust. For me, that's Carter Subaru. This is Ursula Reutin. At Carter Subaru, your drive begins with savings. Now get the 2025 Crosstrek with 3.9% APR for 48 months. Shop with the Carter Subaru Advantage and enjoy valet parking at their Ballard dealership and at-home delivery across all locations.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 4/30/25.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Listen up, Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. So let's do it again and get vaccinated. We're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults under 50. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com to schedule. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Did you know that over the past 10 years, home values have increased the most during the first quarter of the year? So how much is your home worth right now? Check it out instantly at sellwithwest.com. Sure, there are other apps out there you can use, but most of them are national.